Speaking at the Norman Borlaug International Dialogue in Iowa, United States, the Vice President announced new government initiatives such as the Grow 24 program to support this shift. She stressed that Ghana has the potential to produce its own food rather than import. Highlighting Ghana's current agricultural landscape, she observed that nearly 2 out of every 5 Guineans work in agriculture, yet the country still imports more than $2 billion worth of food annually, products that could be grown locally.
The Feed Ghana program is His Excellency President John Mahama's flagship initiative to accelerate transformation in a coordinated, market-driven manner. Complementing Feed Ghana is our Grow 24 program, which is part of Ghana's broader 24-hour economy strategy. Grow 24 is intended to modernize agriculture, mechanize value chains, increase productivity, and link agri-businesses to export and domestic markets. We aim for food self-sufficiency, rural job creation, climate resilience, and stronger agro-manufacturing.
She also announced that government will soon establish a Women's Development Bank to address the long-standing inequalities faced by women in agriculture.
No transformation is complete without equity. Women make up over half of Ghana's agricultural workforce, yet too many lack access to credit, to land, to technology, even to training. And this is why our forthcoming Women's Development Bank and inclusive policies are targeting these inequities. We all know that when women prosper, families and nations flourish. Likewise, our determined, hardworking, and forward-looking youth are ready to lead the next innovations. Africa can feed herself, reduce dependency on imports, and empower millions of youth and women across the continent.
The Norman Borlaug International Dialogue, organized annually by the World Food Prize Foundation, brings together global leaders, scientists, and policymakers to discuss practical solutions for ending hunger and building resilient food systems worldwide.
There is a renowned Ghanaian stateswoman, the longest-serving First Lady of our country's history, the founder of the 31st December Women's Movement, Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Agyeman-Rawlings, a mother who embodied all of these values and principles we have been discussing today. The values of equality, the values of tolerance, of being the voice of the voiceless, of empowerment and inclusivity. Sadly, we lost our mother. We lost that vibrant, colorful, larger-than-life stateswoman, Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Agyeman-Rawlings, yesterday. I humbly request that we all rise, consistent with the President's declaration of a 3-day of national mourning. We rise for a minute's silence in honor of her memory. May her soul and that of all departed heroes rest in perfect peace. I shall now request that the UN and Ghana flags fly at half-mast to show our respect for the memory of Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Agyeman-Rawlings. Her legacy of empowerment and inclusivity, and her legacy of being a voice for the voiceless, shall always be remembered and shall never be forgotten, forever in our hearts. Please resume your seats. I thank you very much.
At a time when our nation faces the existential threat of environmental degradation, particularly from illegal mining and deforestation, access to information, to accurate information, becomes critical. Transparency in environmental governance allows citizens to understand the impact of unsustainable practices and to demand accountability from those entrusted with the management of our natural resources. I urge the Commission to make environmental information a central pillar of its awareness campaigns, ensuring that citizens are empowered to act in defense of our collective future. I am pleased to note that the Commission continues to evolve institutionally, guided by the 5-year strategic plan, aptly titled Pathway to Open and Transparent Governance. This plan must not remain a document on the shelf, but a living blueprint that guides the Commission's operations and drives measurable outcomes.
The most recent participant in the Government Accountability Series is the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, who today also happens to be the keynote speaker, Dr. Dominic Ayini, who in an unprecedented manner outlined the facts and evidence upon which he has filed or intends to file charges against persons who have caused financial loss to the state or used public office for profit. This is a novel practice in our country, giving citizens a clear view into the work of the investigative bodies and our justice system. Indeed, it also lays the foundation for one of the most fundamental principles of justice to be realized when these cases conclude, that justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. His Excellency the President himself availed himself to the media not only to render an account of his stewardship thus far, but also to answer questions directly. The President is committed to sustaining this practice throughout his tenure. I must also commend the staff and management of the Commission for the incredible work you have done so far, despite facing several constraints. Over the last 5 years, your collective commitment has been the driving force behind notable achievements, including the widespread public sensitization campaigns across all 16 regional capitals, intensive training of information officers, and effectively resolving a significant number of review applications through alternative dispute resolution.
As with a huge unreasonable debt at ECG. ECG, you were board chairman. You were board chairman. You know how much debt you left. You yourself have admitted it on the floor during debates about how bad the situation at ECG was when you assumed leadership there as board chairman, and efforts that you also tried to make to address that situation. At the time you were leaving office, you hadn't fixed it. The debts are still lying there. Who's going to pay for those debts? Who is going to pay for those debts? You stopped them in 2024. You stopped PURC from adjusting tariffs because you are afraid of its implications on you for elections. The records are there. You stopped them. He is not denying it. You stopped them from adjusting tariffs in 2024 because you were afraid of the implications on your electoral fortunes if they adjusted tariffs. So the debt kept mounting. Because if you are producing at a very high cost, and then government is forced, ECG is supposed to take it at that high cost, and the ECG doesn't adjust the tariff to reflect the cost at which they are taking the commodity, and yet they are supposed to sell it to consumers at a very low cost. Who is going to pay the differential between how much they are buying and how much they are selling it to consumers? That is normally done through gradual, tariff adjustments. And you stop them from adjusting the tariffs. So the debt just kept ballooning to very, very unreasonable levels. Billions and billions of Ghana cedis of debt at ECG. That has to be addressed. But for the engineering that we have done to make sure that lights never go off so that they can always afford diesel to run the power plants for us to have 24-hour electricity, it would have been very difficult. But even as you do that, you must work towards a sustainable arrangement. And one of it is that you must be realistic in terms of the adjustment of tariffs. In addition, you must deal with the inefficiencies and the corruption. The corruption. I'm told that at ECG, they've procured things that they need in the next 4 or 5 years. You procure for just a year, and then the next year you procure, and the next year you procure. Why do you go and procure things that you need for 5 years? Some of them, their lifespans don't even go up to 5 years. So they will get destroyed in the process, and that will be causing financial loss to the state. So we are fixing the corruption and the mess there. We are fixing the inefficiencies. We are cutting down on the wastage, and we are trying to make ECG very, very profitable, ECG and NEDCO. And go and see what is happening there. It is now working well. But it takes time to deal with the legacy debts. And Ghanaians need to support us to deal with those issues. At the same time, you must have a long-term strategy to drive down power production cost. So the president and government have decided to increase our gas production capacity. So a new gas processing plant is going to be constructed so that we can have additional gas to be able to power all the gas plants with power plants with gas, so that production costs will come down drastically and we can sell power much, much cheaper to both household consumers and for industrial use. In the meantime, government has also decided that we are going to look at the distribution challenges, because there's so much infrastructure challenge that is causing a lot of wastage in the distribution. So if you buy 10 megawatts of power as ECG from a power producer, because your infrastructure is inefficient, by the time it gets to the consumers, let's say 2% of it has been leaked through inefficiencies. So you need to fix the distribution infrastructure. So when you buy 100%, by the time it gets to the consumers, even if there is, some waste, maybe some 0.something%, leakage and waste, then the full amount, close to the full quantity of what you have purchased actually gets to the consumers. Second thing is inefficiency in the collection of revenues. And so government has also decided that we are introducing private sector participation in the distribution and the collection of the electricity tariffs. And so when we do that, look, the global best practice is that utilities are able to recover 98% of their revenues. That's the global best practice. In Ghana, ECG was collecting only 85%. 85%. The global best practice standards is 98%. So the difference between the 98% and 85% was actually loss occasioned in the distribution and the revenue collection. So we want to bring in private sector participation.
The proceeds of crime were used by the couple to acquire a lot of high-end luxury properties and especially real estate across the country. Now, as is typical of all investigations conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, contemporaneous tracing of the proceeds of crime has been undertaken, and we can confirm that the couple purchased a number of high-end real estate properties from their ill-gotten wealth. The properties are as follows. 1, a 5-bedroom house bought from Chain Homes Limited between February 2019 and December 2020 at a cost of $1,625,000. Of this amount, $5,758,165 Ghana cedis, that is the equivalent of 230,841 United States of American dollars, was paid directly from the accounts of the investigated entities. The balance was paid in cash to Chain Homes by the couple. Now, in criminal investigations, when large cash sums are being used to pay, that is prima facie evidence of money laundering. In July 2020, the couple purchased a 3-bedroom house at Cantonments from Golden Coast Developers Limited at a cost of 600,000 United States of American dollars using two of their companies, Fahausa Ventures, owned by the wife, and Fahausa Company Limited, owned jointly by the couple. The land documents were, however, registered in the name of their wife. Between October 2019 and February 2021, the couple purchased plots at Fanali's airport development site for 750,000 United States of American dollars. The total payments were made in cash in the name of Faiza Cedi Wuni. We have the cash, receipts from the developer. Subsequently, in July 2021, Faiza Cedi Wuni signed a contract with a construction company, Mendaha and Souza Construction Limited, at a cost of 691,650 United States of American dollars to construct the shell and the core of the building. This excludes the cost of architectural designs from Ansara Architecture Pty Limited, based in South Africa. The building sitting on Trade Plus is now estimated to be valued at 2,500,000 United States of American dollars. The couple also purchased 0.32 acres of government land from one Anthony Duke Essien, a known government land sales agent named in both the demolition of the Nigerian High Commission and the sale and demolition of the Bulgarian consulate. Duke Essien used his sister, Antoinette Chibodaku, a staff of the Dankwa Institute, as a front, to purchase from the Minister of Lands and the Minister of Lands and the Lands Commission at a price of 307,200 Ghana cedis. Duke Essien then instantly sold the land to Hanan Abdul Wahab and received about 2,567,000 Ghana cedis. The payment came from the criminal proceeds from buffer stock through Sortina Enterprise and through Alkani and Hanan himself to Anthony Duke Essien. On the instruction of his brother, Duke Essien, Antoinette then wrote to the Lands Commission in March 2020 to instruct them that the lease should be in the name of Hanan Abdul Wahab. In May 2020, she made a U-turn and wrote to the Lands Commission to withdraw the documents bearing the name of Hanan Abdul Wahab and now replaced it with the name of the wife, Faiza Cedi Wuni. The couple developed 4 units of 4-bedroom apartments on the said land. The property is yet to be valued by our investigators. Now, ladies and gentlemen, other properties acquired by the couple are as follows. A 17-bedroom boutique hotel at Gumani in Tamale, in respect of which the couple used Fahausa Company Limited to sign a franchise with Villa Monticello for the price of $250,000. In other words, $250,000. So they wanted Villa Monticello to run it as if it is a Villa Monticello hotel. So they paid $250,000 to Villa Monticello, in order to hide the identity of the hotel. But we've been able to dig in, and we've gotten all the evidence, including all the receipts from Villa Monticello. There is a 4-bedroom bungalow situated at Jolo, Accra, valued at 4.1 million cedis. 3-story building, that is Chicken Republic, the Chicken Republic building in Tamale, situated at Estate Junction, Tamale. 5-bedroom mansion at Canville, Dorado Street, Tamale. 3-bedroom house, Palissy, Tamale. 1-story building, number 10 Selby Gardens, Achimota, Accra. Then 0.27 acre plot of land, Estate Junction, Tamale. 0.29 acre of land, close to Workers College, Tamale. We have also frozen all these assets and will be taking steps to have them confiscated to the state in the course of the criminal proceedings. We have no doubt in our minds that these properties were bought from the proceeds of crime. When interrogated, Faiza Wuni, the wife of Anan, said she was a housewife being paid 5,000 Ghana cedis a month by the husband. So that is the legitimate income that we know. We have also taken note of the legitimate earnings of Hanan Abdul Wahab when he was appointed. His initial salary from 2017 was 14,000 Ghana cedis, a little above 14,000 Ghana cedis. He exited buffer stock in December 2024 with a salary of 28,000 per month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do your mathematics. All right, and there are no other sources of legitimate earnings apart from these that I have named. Do your mathematics and tell me, in good faith, whether a couple earning this amount of money can buy a house costing 1.6 million United States of American dollars at chain homes. That is the question, not for the gods, but for us as citizens to be able to answer, and answer very well through the accountability process. And that is why I keep saying that it is important that we take, we do painstaking investigations. Because without the painstaking investigations that were done quietly, we started this in February. In February 2025, this investigation started in February 2025. And it is now that we have the results. As I have also told you, the oral reports are still coming into my office. Now, those who are pushing me to go to court and who are saying that by now convictions should have been obtained, I know you are Ghanaians, you have legitimate expectations of your government officials, including the president and the attorney general. But we need to do a good job. Accountability costs resources. Accountability, takes time. And so it is important that Ghanaians are patient so that we have the kind of results that I'm announcing today. Not that I will rush to court. Defense lawyers will come and raise objections, throw my case out, and then the same Ghanaians who wanted me to go to court expeditiously will now turn around and say that Ayine is an incompetent attorney general. I was never an incompetent lawyer in private practice. I don't want to be an incompetent lawyer in public service. So I want us to take our time to do the kind of work that I'm announcing today. And I want to also let you know that I'm under no pressure from any quarters to cut any deals. Mr. President, who is my boss, has never put pressure on me. On the contrary, when I brief him, he gives me his blessing. He doesn't even express an opinion one way or the other. He says, Dominic, I've heard you. All right? The chief of staff has never put pressure on me to cut a deal with anybody. The secretary to the president, Dr. Kalisus Mahama, has never put pressure on me. On the contrary, he encourages me. He says the work is stressful, but I should keep on. The legal counsel to the president, my former boss, has never put pressure on me to cut any deal. Offers have been made, and I have turned all of them down. I have told everybody, please go to the court. If you want a pleas deal, I'm filing cases. In the Wuntumi case, offers were made to us for a plea deal. I said, no, I'm filing charges. If you want, announce your intention for a plea deal to the judge. That is now my strategy. The MPP took advantage of my saying that I'm open to to having plea deals to say, okay, that I was busy cutting deals in the office. No deal has been cut, and no deal will be cut except under the auspices of the court of competent jurisdiction. That is what I have decided, and that is what we are going to do, going forward. Lastly, we have frozen all the assets of Anan that I have listed, including a 10 million Ghana cedis fixed deposit account at Republic Bank, Labone branch. That is the liquid assets. They also, had a lot of bags. I didn't want to list them. The wife has over 61 luxury bags. All right, name them. He himself was buying watches, some costing as much as 1.5 million Ghana cedis, and so on. We have taken note of all of them, and so we've done the freezing, including those of the vehicles. So on account of the foregoing, we have decided to charge Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seydou Wuni, with stealing, conspiracy to steal, causing financial loss to the state, using public office for profit, obtaining public property by false statements, and money laundering. The charges will be filed on Friday, and I have the charge sheet, the draft charge sheet, which I am reviewing here for everybody to see. so that nobody goes to say that I have indicted somebody and I don't have charges. I have my charges ready. From now onwards, when we are announcing the conclusion of investigations, we are either contemporaneously filing charges or we are filing them immediately thereafter. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. I hope that Ghanaians will bear with us to do an excellent job for this republic. The oral will work. Forget about those who are paying bloggers to blog that oral is failing. Oral is on course and will work for the good of the people of this country. We will exact accountability to the extent justifiable by law. As I said, I will not do anything outside the law for political expediency reasons. I won't. So thank you and God bless all of you.
Because this was the gracious presentation of His Majesty the King, when the Parliament started in January 1993. They had lost some favor, and so we appealed to him if he could graciously come and renew them, and he immediately accepted and directed that it be done. The next day, to our surprise, the team was down here in Accra, and you can see a complete, fresh renewal of those majestic cultural display of our talents. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the efforts and the gracious support of His Excellency Otumfuo Osesei II. He has done tremendously well, and he will continue to be the father of all. And we know his passion in multi-party democracy. He has been a guide to all of us, particularly somebody like me as a speaker of the 8th and the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Honorable members, I want just to draw your attention to the names and meaning of what you have behind me. I myself is very challenged, and so if my pronunciation offends your ears, kindly forgive me, because I'm of a different ethnic group. But these kente cloths are of two types. One is called Ejunse Ejunso. Ejunse Ejunsi Ejunso is a type of high quality hand-woven Ghanaian kente cloth that translates to designs upon designs, or wisdom upon wisdom. The second is called Fatia Fata Nkrumah. That definitely is clear to all of you, even including me. It's a Ghanaian kente cloth pattern whose name translates to Fatia is a fitting wife for Nkrumah. In fact, those of us who are old enough used to hear it. It was created to honor the marriage of Ghana's first president. In fact, we should always start by saying first Prime Minister and first President, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and his Egyptian wife, Fatia Nkrumah. And this symbolizes the unity of Africa and the Arab world. In fact, that was one of the visible steps that Nkrumah took to try to unite the states in Africa by personally moving beyond the shores of Ghana to marry from Egypt.
the NDC are the best implementers of social intervention schemes. As I address you, there are no arrears outstanding. Claim payments are now up to date, with reimbursements made monthly, a marked improvement from previous years when payments delayed for several months. This improvement has restored confidence among healthcare providers, stabilized service delivery, and enhanced the scheme's credibility across all regions. Additionally, the uncapping of the NHIL by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has released an additional 3.4 billion Ghana cedis to the NHIE, marking a historic fiscal breakthrough that secures sustainable funding for timely claims payment, expansion of coverage, and implementation of flagship reforms such as free primary health care and Mahama Cares. So far, so excellent.
Though we are 87, we assure the people of Ghana that we are firm in our conviction and will be able to hold this supermajority to account. We don't believe in numbers, we believe in substance, and will confront you with substance. Mr. Speaker, we are a proud, mighty few who will speak truth to power and work tirelessly. Mr. Speaker, guided by discipline, hard work, and our faith in God. When your party lost in 2000, you led a charge with fewer numbers, and within a short period, you made progress. We also inspired by what we saw in 2016, said that by 2020, your side had made progress. We believe in that same dream that come 2028, the minority will be the majority. Mr. Speaker, let us all be in President Akufo-Addo's words, be citizens, not spectators. Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much for your kind audience, and I thank colleagues for indulging.
We will not tolerate it tomorrow, and so long as we are molding character, if we give it to her today, tomorrow it will be shoes, and the next day it will be the way they dress. Therefore, as part of our disciplinary measures, headmasters and GES, you are accordingly empowered to take full control of how students behave on your campuses. So anybody who thinks that your child will walk into any institution of learning as if that child, forgive my words, was to attend a beauty contest, the school environment is not for that purpose and not cut for that purpose, and we will not tolerate that as an institution. To the chairman, there is a lot of growing indiscipline in our schools, some even with teachers abusing learners. We would not accept that. We would apply heavy sanctions to any teacher who wants to take advantage of a learner. And to the students, you only can walk away from Maori school with two values: discipline and integrity, and the future is yours.
President John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, colleague ministers, if there are any, Deputy Minister Clement Apak, Umazi leading the persons with disability and co-chair of the committee, chairperson of the Student Loan Trust, Chief Director of the Ministry of Education and the team from the Ministry of Education, Director General GTEC, Director General NACA, Director General NASIA, Administrator of the GET Fund, and the Director General of the Ghana Service, Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my honor and pride this afternoon to be introducing our keynote and special guest of honor for the launch of the Persons with Disability No Fee Stress. Mr. President, this afternoon, my English is further enriched when one of the young girls here, in her own words, said, when Ghana chose you as president, they chose inclusion. Apt and appropriate for this day. And Mr. President, as you listen to them, they echoed what has been your long passion, that inclusivity and equality is equal to equity. And that today, President John Dramani Mahama is not only fulfilling a major campaign promise, but demonstrating to Ghanaians once again that he is the compassionate President of the Republic of Ghana and committed to touching the lives of vulnerable persons and to ensure their inclusivity and to give meaning to the phrase that disability is not inability. The President, want to thank you. The President, I am compelled to thank Deputy Minister Clement Apak and our brilliant Speaker Joseph Achu-Humaji. They were the co-chair of the committee which mapped out the blueprint of the roadmap that, Mr. President, you are here to launch today. So the rural Fumbisi MP of Clement Apak, we remain grateful, and to Hamadi for the leadership that you have provided. Mr. President, the GET Fund administrator and the team at GET Fund have been particularly supportive. And to the persons with disability, I'm happy to announce, before you hear the presidential packages, that this no-fee stress will cost the state and the GET Fund some 31 million. President Mahama have asked me to assure you that so long as he's president, from now until 2028, the GET Fund will commit 50 million every other year to support the no disability fees and other associated interventions. Then, Mr. President, the Director General of GES is here. You have emphasized that we should shift focus to basic education and to improve learning outcomes at the basic level. Mr. President, the story is told of a young girl whose teacher somewhere in the Ashanti region went in and was waxing English, teaching at that early stages of development. Then the child told the teacher that, so, Mr. President, in line with that and with your authority, I'm directing the Director General of the Ghana Education Service and the GES that from today, teacher use of mother tongue instruction is now compulsory in all Ghanaian schools. The GES is to ensure strict enforcement of this. That child, that Ghanaian child, was not born into an English family, but a proud Asante Akan family, and deserves to learn. This is part of President Mahama's research agenda. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we are discussing higher education, and for President Mahama, he wants to expand access to quality, relevant education. Let me acknowledge Kofi Asare, one of those who draw our attention every time to some of the crookedness of the policies we may be pursuing. I'm also happy to announce that President Mahama a few weeks ago was in China. And in China, the Chinese government was benevolent and generous enough to give Ghana some 200 million of the Chinese RMB. And then when they looked at Mr. President's face and to honor his birthday, they added another 200 million, which I'm told is the equivalent of about some 27 to 30 million US dollars. The President is aware of my briefing that in some parts of Ghana, access to quality secondary education is still a challenge, and access to higher education is still a challenge. The President recognizes the role and the continuous role of the church in partnering the state in the provision of higher education. Accordingly, President Mahama is dedicating the 200 million for the start and establishment of a Catholic Science University in Damango in the Savannah region. So that at least that will be done. An additional new university, Mr. President, will be established. 3 technical universities, one in Jasikan, one in Techima. The Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission was in the Ahafo region. Mr. President, we may have to delay the takeoff of the School of Engineering at Bunsu in the Eastern region for good reason, so that as a result of that exchange, when we complete the fiscal infrastructure, we will get the School of Engineering and Agric Sciences functional. But Mr. President, it is the thinking of government, and you requested me to put a committee chaired by Dr. Christine Amoakun-Nuama to work to expand access to higher education and to give you a blueprint on doing this. In line with that, Mr. President, Atrenswa in the Ahafo region and Kenyasi in the Ahafo region will enjoy new satellite campuses as part of the Bunsu University, with the intention of making them have their own universities in the foreseeable future. Mr. President, so today is not for long speeches. I've been asked to come and introduce the fine gentleman of a president of Ghana, who keeps his word and who honors his word. In the run-up to the December elections, you pledge to the Ghanaian people that you will be a compassionate president. You are giving meaning just to that today with the launch of this no-fee stress. I now have the singular honor to introduce to you the President of the Republic. But in the words of...
Well, you are right. Ghana has been a champion in foundational learning, and we are even reinforcing that as we are reviewing our curriculum from kindergarten to primary 6. Now, we know that to succeed means that we need to provide the needed human resource as far as education is concerned. And the most important resource is the teacher. So we continue to invest in the training of teachers, but we are not leaving it there. That is why the President has announced a number of interventions. You may have heard that the President announced the Teacher Dabre program, which is expected to provide accommodation for teachers who take up places in rural areas. In addition to that, we are also going to give proper effect to the 20% in addition to the base salary of teachers who decide to take up teaching positions in less deprived and rural areas. But more importantly, we are looking at training more teachers in the area of foundational learning. So clearly, we are very determined to make a difference. And we believe if we get the foundation right, which is KG to primary 3, for which we are now allowing teachers to use the mother tongue, and we support teachers logistically and improve conditions of service, I believe we can make a very big difference. Thank you.
The word Cedi is the Akan word for cowrie shells, which were formerly used as currency in what is now Ghana. In July 1965, Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, introduced Cedi notes and Peswa coins to replace the Ghanaian pounds, shillings, and pence. Decades of high inflation devalued the new Cedi. This was gradually phased out in 2007 in favor of the Ghana Cedi. The Ghana Cedi was also outdoored in different denominations: 50, 20, 10, 5, 2, and 1 Cedi notes, with the coins being 1 Cedi, 50, 20, 10, 5, and the 1 Peswa coins. Anyone who has paid close attention to the coins will realize they all come with unique symbols. The 20 Peswa coin has a picture of cocoa beans. Cocoa is a major export of Ghana, making it an important part of Ghana's economy, as well as a tasty product for the rest of the world to appreciate. Other pictures include the scales on the 1 Cedi coin, symbolizing justice, a book on the 10 Peswa coin, symbolizing education. The 5 Peswa coin has a picture of a horn blower, which was and is still a ceremonial role for the introduction of chiefs and also a symbol of communication. Featured at the bottom center of the 1 Peswa coin is a depiction of the Adomi Bridge, Ghana's largest suspension bridge, and a palm tree. But who is the woman on the 50 Peswa coin? Historians and public records have identified the woman as Rebecca Nadede Aite. Nadede was a feminist and political activist who was popular for being a pioneering chief financier of Nkrumah's CPP. By age 30, she was the queen of flour, known in Ghana as Ashikinshang, in the whole of Accra and pretty much the whole country. This earned her the name Dede Ashikinshang, meaning Dede flour. Nadede was wealthy, owned a huge house in Kokomlemle, and later became the market queen of Accra's Makola market. She was also the leader of the market women who were mobilized by Gbedema as the backbone of the Convention People's Party. But wait, have you ever wondered why Ghana's double-decker buses has been named Auntie Dede? The double-decker bus was introduced into the country by one Harry Sawyer, and because of the significant role Nadede played in its acquisition, the bus was named after her, hence the Auntie Dede bus. Sadly, Nadede died at the age of 38, and many believed she was poisoned. Today, she is not only remembered in money, but also in the name of Ghana's double-decker buses. Shadrach Odame Ejari, Metro News.
The appreciation of the Cedi that we have seen recently. I think that one of the things that if you ask a simple question to the NDC to point out exactly what policy they have implemented that has resulted in the appreciation of the Cedi, they cannot tell you one that has been implemented, not sort of talked about, but actually implemented. They cannot tell you one such policy. They only pass their budget in March. They've not even issued any contracts and paid for anything, pretty much. So you cannot ascribe what is happening to the currency to a policy that they have implemented. There's no such policy that has been implemented that has had that impact yet. For me, we had anticipated the impact of gold in this economy. I talked about it when we got into dire straits in 2022. Bank of Ghana had bought $5 billion worth of gold. After all the noise of the election, people are paying attention to our reserves. That is one thing, which we have built to 30 tons. Secondly, you've mentioned
Kids Day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Edi asema menya oden o tiantie mu amanfo ada wo hye me boso obeto phone na mame me phone na say dada menya oden
the most surprised man
surprise ben
surprise
hey Kofi papa e phone o iPhone 13 nanya ne
ende me fankofo bi mienu o amuko circle ene ba ko ne ka chena dan fa hawa ono ode ni Ghana card eko EBA phone so a otua 40% pen e di phone man no a da aka no betua ne kakra Timothy ya me drop na me so me call ho ana me kwanya wo phone de brɛ wo.
Oh Kofi papa me da se am shroud
de ye kogu
wo EBA phones hade yeton iPhones ne ho akade nyina ye sanso de ma wholesale so ye dealer na so pedodo atua anase afi na wo hye iPhone business na sia braya se ye hwehwe ye chiwa kwan e wa Accra Circle Mall any tiptoe lane modern photos in chain American Monso ye ni odor rice ene di nhwenim Kumase yewedum ejekuma brunsanim obetumi so hu ye www.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit, happy smile.
See, you didn't hear. Play. You see, the reason why we play commercials because they want us to flow. Oh. To fix, eh? Yay. Yeah. Oh, a small money show. Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is the Tuesday edition of the show, and today is the 28th of October, 2025. My name is Aldo Moro, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. I want to say big thanks to the Almighty God for giving us the rare privilege of returning here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making their rounds in our dear country, Ghana. Well, today I'm sure you'll be asking why, where's this location and why we're coming to you from where we're coming to you from this morning. It's simple. We're coming to you from the precincts of the Accra International Conference Center, where the Bank of Ghana, or the central bank, is celebrating 60 years since the birth or the issuance of Ghana's legal tender. I'm talking about the Ghana Cedi. The Ghana Cedi turned 60 years on the 19th of July 2025, which was a Friday, and the Bank of Ghana is organizing a series of activities to mark the 60 years of the birth of the Ghana Cedi. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a conversation we're going to have about the importance of the day and what to expect as we celebrate this day. But as we always do on Good Morning Ghana, we would we'll give you a sense of what the newspapers are reporting on their various front pages. We'll do that briefly. And then I have a guest who will be telling us a bit more about the significance of today's event. But as I always do, I'll start with the Daily Graphic. The Daily Graphic today is reporting that says Nordic government partner to tackle period poverty. 6 million free pads to reach school children. There's also UPSA. Professor Puni proposes shift in SOE leadership appointment. There's unauthorized fee saga. GS invites KPAS Tech headmaster for questioning. It's called PASTEC for questioning. There's government eyes 500,000 agri jobs. Oil palm push takes center stage in 2026 budget. Return contribute to Africa's development. KGL Group Chair to Diaspora after Forbes Award. The Ghanaian Times. President Mahama Akufo-Addo, others lead tribute to Nana Konadu Rawlings. There's medical experts warn expectant mothers against misuse of steroids. We won't tolerate indiscipline, the Education Minister. And there's also KGL Group Chairman receives Forbes Best of Africa Corporate Leadership and Innovation Award. And there's court warns Professor Mayor Kofi over delay in GIIF trial. The Daily Guide today is reporting that bring your lawyer or I proceed, judge to Mayor Kofi. There's 4 arrested over Asaman Kesi shooting. There's cabinet warns ministers over unapproved policy announcement. Baumia leads MPP delegation to mourn Nana Konadu, and there's Education Ministry backtracks on a mother tongue policy. The Insight this morning is reporting that Ghana's health care and and emergencies, a reflection on the demise of Atamils, Konadu, others. There's go to court. Kwan CEO fights 7 communities over accusations of land seizure. And there's towards boosting literacy and numeracy in basic schools. Education Ministry, UNICEF unveiled 2025 Foundational Learning Tracker. KGL Group boss Alex Dadi grabs Forbes Best of Africa Corporate Leadership Award. There's land developers warned against purchase of land from caretakers at Omanjo. And there's a U.S. deploys aircraft carrier and threatens invasion of Venezuela while expanding drug war to Colombia. The Daily Post. Beep Gamanche visit Rawlings family to offer condolences. And there's also the judge threatens to proceed with Amir Konfi's trial if his legal representation fails again. There's NIMOS cracks down on illegal mining at Hiawa Krofum. Chinese miners arrested, weapons and excavators seized. Chief of Defense Staff pledges support to personnel, and that's with today's Daily Post. Let me look at what's on today's Business and Financial Times. Now, the Business and Financial Times today is reporting that ADB's strong turnaround continues, records 153.66% profit growth, hits 447.49 million cedis pre-tax profit in Q3 2025. And as profit motives drive banks to flat import verification rules, costing nation $20 billion in transfers, several banks implicated in the act. Dr. Elombi takes over as Afri Exim's Bank 4th president, pledges deeper impact. And then there's also the Echima Kwamoma Rural Bank records 120.32% growth in profit, bags 54.4 million cedis profit before tax. That's with today's Business and Financial Times. Let me also look at today's Metro Lens, and they say it's today stakeholder conference, and it talks about gives some more details about this impending conference, which is organized by the NHIA. Now, the Daily Searchlight today says coordinating director for Joabing Municipal Assembly in trouble as national security probes him over alleged contracts diversion. Now, failure to appoint a defense minister, dangerous, reckless, in Team 4J to Mahama. And there's NDC Germany Secretary, Dr. Jerome Pan, resigned, citing silence and stagnation. There's insolent Achim Oda MCE in trouble over I ate to Zafi with 6 million common fund comment. Dr. Baumia to embark on a 3-day campaign tour of the Western North region. So that's it for the newspapers that we have today. I'm talking about the newspaper banner headline. So typically would have taken a break and then we'll come back and introduce our guest, but I'll do that straight away because my guest is already seated, and so I'll go straight ahead and speak to him about the importance of today's event. And I'm talking about the central bank's launch of 60 years of the existence of the city since 1965. In fact, the city turned or celebrated its birthday on the 19th of July 2025. But today we're launching it officially, and there's a lot that you'll be finding out when I engage my guest this morning. Now, Dominic Owusu is the Director and Head of Currency Management with the Bank of Ghana. He's my guest this morning. Boss, good morning. How are you?
Fine.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes, yes. I like your, I think this outfit for all staff of the Bank of Ghana.
Not for the staff.
Okay.
For everybody in Ghana.
Oh, for everybody in Ghana.
So today.
But you didn't give me one.
Okay, but it will be unveiled today.
It will be unveiled today.
And it will be made public.
I blame Pakwisi Asari.
Ah.
Yes, he
has one for you already. So pick it up after the program.
So Pakwisi, I know you're here. I mean, he's a fantastic chap.
Yes.
He's one of the communications team members of the Central Bank.
He's our boy too.
Oh, really? you don't want me to lay claim of solitary ownership.
That was in the past. But
that's in the past, not today. Today he's our man.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dominic. But good to see you once again.
Yeah, good to see you.
I can see the excitement is all over the place. I mean, what's happening?
Today we are celebrating our identity. Launch of the Cedi program. Okay. And as you can see, today we are celebrating the identity of Ghana. Okay. The Ghana that was given birth in 1965. Okay. The Ghana that had its economic sovereignty in 1965 by the birth of the Cedi by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Okay. Today is seeing another birth, a rebirth and a new beginning for Ghana. So today is Ghanaians' identity, its sovereignty, its heritage, national pride. So today is glorious for Ghana.
So essentially, today's event goes beyond just looking at the city as a legal tender for the exchange of goods and services, but it's much more than that.
Yes.
Okay. And you talked about pride.
Great.
You talk about resilience.
Great.
And you talk about sovereignty.
Great.
So let's start with pride. Why must a Ghanaian be proud of the city?
Okay, so normally, when we talk about any currency, it has an association with the issuer. So it means that Ghana, we cannot issue the dollar. Ghana cannot issue the euro. Ghana cannot issue the pound. But what we can issue is the Cedi. That is why the birth of the Cedi in 1965 was really sovereign for the nation. So the identity of Ghanaians is seen in the Cedi. When you look at the representation of every country, is the flag. But how many people hold the flag every day? So every day, day in and day out, we get in contact with the Cedi. So the Cedi is one of the assets that we have that connects every individual in the country. Again, when you talk about the US dollar, it represents the US. Nobody's going to talk about Ghana in the United States when the dollar is coming, or the euro in Europe, or the pound in the UK. You talk about the Cedi in Ghana. So the pride of the United States is in the US dollar. The pride of the British is in the pound. So when you talk about the pound power, it's the British. So the Cedi power is Ghana. And when you look at every currency, because of its heritage nature, you see that it depicts cultural motifs, iconographic elements, icons that represents the economy. So that is why the Cedi remains the pride of Ghanaians. And we normally say that it is the business card of the citizenry.
So that's with the element of pride.
Yes.
Let's not look at sovereignty.
Right.
What is there to say about sovereignty relative to the Cedi?
The Cedi has given us international power.
Right.
And it is the anchor of our financial system. Without the Cedi, who are we Ghanaians, and how can the financial system remain robust and resilient? So that sovereignty, it's what creates that essence of robustness and resilience. And when we see over the years, the city has gone through a lot of challenges. Post-independence, structural reforms, structural controls, IMF interventions. And today we say that the city has gotten to a level where we say it is modern market-driven resilience. Right. And that is what makes Cedi sovereign to the economy of Ghana.
All right. So what is there to say about resilience?
So the resilience, we look at how far the city has come. Despite all the volatilities, despite all the shocks, redenomination, restructuring, no coin boundaries, everything, the city has not been outwitted. The city is still strong today. Today, when we talk about the city, we are proud as Ghanaians. We have pride in it. So the resilience starts from the fact that right from 1965 to today, the city has gone through a lot of challenges, but the city is still there. And Ghanaians have confidence and trust in the city. And today we want to re-echo it and rebirth this resilience, this trust, this confidence in the currency, so that Ghanaians will see the city as the currency of choice.
Walk us through the evolution of the city. I mean, as you rightly said, in 1965, the city was birthed. And so from 1965 to the 19th of July of this year, the city turned exactly 60 years. Now, before the city existed, how were Ghanaians trading? Why did we decide to abandon that medium of exchange, that model of trading, to now decide that we want to adopt the cedi as a legal tender, and so on and so forth? What is the story there? Because once we're celebrating we're celebrating 60 years of the birth of the cedi, we ought to know how far we've come. And that's why I'm asking about the evolution of the cedi. What is the story?
So normally, we say that we remember the past to draw, not to dwell in it, right, but to draw wisdom from it. And understanding the journey of the city, it is very essential, and it will inspire us to innovate for a greater and a better and a purposeful future. Right. Prior to colonial times, it was a barter system where you are able to value some products and then value the other side of the product. So if I'm exchanging some goods with you, we all have a way of valuing it and we exchange. So in a way, you find a way. So they were very technically sharp in evaluating assets. So don't underestimate those days. So they know that a number of bottles of water is equivalent to this plate. So they did a barter system in those days. Then after that, they used things like cowrie shells. And the cowrie shell was very valuable and durable. They also used gold dust after the cowrie shell. But with the cowrie shell, there were some seeds, which we call pesuabo. So they were pesuabos. The tree was pesuabo tree, and the pesuabo seeds were also used as basic units. Right. Then came colonial times, and Ghana underwent, at the time, the West African Currency Board, when we used West African currency between 1912 and then 1958 on the 14th of July, when we transitioned into the Ghana pound. Right. So let's look at what happened right after independence. So our independence was on the 6th of March, 1957. But before you become truly independent, you needed to have both political independence and economical independence. So Ghana got its political independence on the 6th of March, 1957. But prior to that, because there was the need for that economic independence, there was the need for a central bank to be established. So the Bank of Ghana was then established on the 4th of March. That is on the eve of independence. And that meant a step towards economic sovereignty. But that economic sovereignty was not achieved yet, because the establishment of the central bank meant that the central bank was supposed to issue its own currency. If you're a central bank and you don't have that mandate to issue currency, then you don't even exist. So the mandate of every central bank is to issue and redeem currency. And for that matter, Ghana, Central Bank of Ghana, also issues and redeems currency. Nobody in Ghana can do that. But in order to start the step-by-step process of getting its economic sovereignty, Ghana decided to issue the Ghana pound.
Right.
And the Ghana pound was issued on the 14th of July, 1958. Why Ghana pound before the Cedi? Now we're living within an environment surrounded by a number of countries who were all using the British pound system. And you needed cross-border payments, cross-border interactions, transactions. So there was the need to make sure that you balance a very easy, exchange rate in terms of the exchange rate between whatever currency you issue and the Ghana West African currency. Right. So Ghana started with Ghana pound, which was 1:1 with the West African currency. Right. But the name Ghana in its currency meant a lot to Ghanaians, because it made them psychologically aware that we were no more under colonial rule. Right. So Ghana pound was introduced on the 14th of July, 1958. And the currencies there, the banknotes were 10 shillings, 1 pound. So 10 shillings, 1 pound, 5 pound. And for interbank transactions, we also introduced 1,000 pound. The coins were half pence, 1 pen, 3 pence, 6 pence, 1 shillings, and 2 shillings. But let's look at all these issues with shillings and pounds and pence. So for every pence, if you have 1 shilling and you need pence, is 1:12. Okay. So it means that 1 shilling is to 12 pounds. Additionally, 1 pound is to 20 shillings. So that was what was happening around the time. And Ghana realized that, look, this doesn't help. 1:20, it was quite too messy for Ghanaians. So Ghana said that, look, if we want economic sovereignty, able to clean up all vestiges of colonial rule, let's change our currency system and make it very easy for Ghanaians. So then Ghana in 1961, through the Kesel Committee, started the roadmap to getting its own currency. And they chose the symbol of Cedi, which is now the Cedi, which is a cowrie shell. And then the smallest unit, which is also Pesuabo, became Pesua. But then we did not adapt the pence, shillings, and pound system, but we did what we call decimalization, where each of the currencies is divisible by 10. So that is when we brought in 1 Pesua is equal to 1 Cedi. And that was revolutionary for Ghanaians. So the birth of the Cedi, and that is when we found our true identity. So the identity of Ghanaians in its economic sovereignty was founded in 1965 when the Cedi and the Pesua was born. And we also adopted another currency system which we call the decimal triplet, which is, in that case, you do 1, 5, 10, so that it makes life easy. So in 1965, this is what happened. And all the currencies at the time, had the image of our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We continue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this history. I mean, we're learning a lot this morning. Eh? We're learning a lot. Yes.
Okay.
So had the picture of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes, they had a picture of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So when the cedi was now introduced, the notes at the time were 1 cedi, 5 cedis, 10 cedis. We had 50 cedis, 50 cedis, and 100 cedis. Those were the banknotes that were introduced. The coins were 5, 10, 25, and 50. We still had the 1,000 cedi notes, which was still used for international transaction. Then, so you realize that the banknote represented sovereignty. It represented power for the nation. So, in 1966, when the National Liberation Council overthrew Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first thing they decided was to change the currency because of the power it represented, because of the sovereignty it represented, because it was the foundation of the financial system. So the first thing they thought of is put together a roadmap to changing the currency. So in February 1967, the announcement was made that, look, we are going for a new currency. And they moved ahead, and the currency in May was introduced by the governor, by the then governor. So in 1967, the second currency was introduced. Now, what they decided at the time was that, look, we think that the currency was undervalued, and there was the need to do a realignment, rationalization of the currency. So what they introduced, which they called the new cedi, even though the currency had the cedi as the symbol for transactions, they called it the new cedi. And everyone's new cedi was then equivalent to 1.2 old cedis. We don't call that redenomination at the time because the currencies were still the same cedi. But for people to appreciate the new and the old, the new one was called the new cedi, and the old one, of course, the old cedi. And at the time, they now rationalized it and only introduced 1, 5, and 10, leaving the 50 and the 100. So they brought 1, 5, and 10. And instead, they brought in a number of coins. 1 peswa, 2.5 peswa, half peswa, 1 peswa, 2.5 peswas, 5 peswas, 10 peswas, and 20 peswas.
Okay.
So that was in 1967. And that was the first time the 20 peswa was introduced. So in 1972, we saw another change that also brought new currency. And as I've told you, anytime there was the change, because of the power and the sovereignty that the currency represented, there was always the rush to change the currencies in circulation, the currency in circulation. So in that time, another reform happened and another new designs were introduced. So they still maintained the currency structure in 1972, but added a 2 Ghana cedi. And that was the first time a 2 Ghana cedi banknote was introduced. And that is where we had what we call the logic decimal triplets. Logic decimal triplets in the sense of 1, 2, 5 also coming into circulation. And that stayed in circulation until 1979. So all these banknotes were in circulation. And we know what happened in 1979, where people who had more than 50 cedis lost 50% of their value. And then those who had below 50 cedis lost about 30%. So right from 1979 to to 1983, we had some currency reform. And within that time, there was, from international trade, our currency was seen to be overvalued. So there was a number of, depreciation, devaluation of the currency. And we realized that within the time, there were notes that were coined a number of times between 1979, 1983 till 2007. So we moved from 1 cedi, and then at the time, in 1979, we had the highest denomination being 50 cedis. We ended up before 2007 with the highest denomination being 20,000 cedis. Right. Of course, with the number of zeros, Ghana decided that, look, we cannot keep on carrying so many zeros for a transaction in baskets. Then came this famous redenomination exercise when the value is the same. Right. 1 cedi was 10,000 Ghana cedi. So let's look at it. So at 20,000, which was the highest denomination before redenomination, became 2 cedis. And then most
20,000 became 2 cedis, or
yes,
became 200?
Became 2 cedis.
20,000?
Yes. Divide 20,000 by 10,000.
Ah, okay. Right.
So the highest denomination became 2 cedis.
2 cedis.
And the next highest denomination became 1 cedi. So the 10,000 became 1 cedi, and the 20,000 became 2 cedis.
Okay.
That was a big change in Ghana, because Ghanaians had to get used to it, doing this calculation. And at the time, we made it very clear that even though 20,000 has become 2 cedis and 10,000 has become 1 cedi, the value is still the same. And let's note that at the time, 100 cedis became 1 peswa. 100 cedis became 1 peswa. So this continued, and we enjoyed redenomination. At the time of redenomination, the exchange rate was about 1 Ghana cedi to about $0.92, which was very enjoyable for Ghanaians. Then in 2010, we had to celebrate the centenary 100 years of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And the denominations that we introduced in 2007.
Right. And before you go on, let me just say that viewers, as you can see in your shots, we're showing you some of the what we call the action or the stuff that's happening within the presidency of the Accra International Conference Center. Those are interesting shots that it's sort of showcasing the kinds of things that you're missing because you're not here. And so, but back to Mr. Dominic Osu. Mr. Dominic Osu is actually the head and director of currency management, right, at the Central Bank or the Bank of Ghana, where he's taking us through the evolution of the cedi, basically from birth to today, which is the 28th of October, 2025, and we're enjoying it. It's a very, very, very important, historical event of things. And so, please go ahead.
So back to 2010.
Right.
So let's also appreciate that during the redenomination, Ghana did not introduce any 2 Ghana cedi. There was no 2 Ghana cedi. It was 1, 5, 10, 20, and 50. 1, 5, 10, 20, and 50. Then when there was the opportunity to celebrate the 100 years of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we realized that there was the need to bring the 2 Ghana cedi back in circulation. So the yellow note with the portrait of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was introduced in 2010. And specifically, this was to celebrate 100 years of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And in 2012, Ghana, we had to upgrade the 50 Ghana cedi that was introduced in 2007. Because you realize that in 2010, we introduced a cocoa pod, green cocoa pod, on the money where the portraits, the basics were, because we were hit by a sophisticated counterfeit. The counterfeit was, we saw the counterfeit in circulation. We didn't make too much noise, but we realized that there was the need to proactively upgrade the notes and withdraw those currencies from circulation. So in 2012, there was an upgrade of the 50 Ghana cedi, and it was introduced. Then nothing happened in Ghana until 2017, where we needed to celebrate 60 years of the establishment of the central bank. 60 years of the establishment of the central bank. So, if you remember, we introduced what we call the short note, which was in the 5 Ghana cedi, with a portrait of Kweji Agri. So that note was only introduced as a commemorative note to celebrate 60 years of the central bank, establishment of the central bank. And if you see that that banknote only came in for the celebration, and it has never been issued again.
Okay.
So then in 2019, another significant milestone, these banknotes from 2007 had been in circulation for close to about 10 years. The banknotes that were introduced in 2007 had been in circulation for about 10 years in 2017. So Bank of Ghana decided to prepare itself to upgrade these notes. And let's take note of this, that International Association of Currency Affairs, that is IACA, recommends that every nation must try to upgrade its notes every 6 to 7 years. Okay. So let me repeat. International Association of Currency Affairs recommends upgrades in the currency every 6 to 7 years. Why is this? Anytime currencies are introduced, it's always fantastic with security features. But with time, these fraudsters and counterfeiters, they begin to master the game. So if as a central bank you want to be on top of your game, then when you see the emergence of some level of counterfeit, there is the need to do an upgrade. So in 2019, Ghana saw another reissue and upgraded banknotes. So the current series of banknotes that we have in circulation were introduced in 2019. But within the same period, after having had these currencies in circulation for a number of years, from 2007, Ghana had to look at what we call the note coin boundary. And we normally do some scientific and technical work, which we call demetrics, to establish the best currency structure that we need as a country.
Okay.
So after that work, there was the need for us to introduce higher denomination.
Okay.
Because if your denominations are too low, and instead of coining some banknotes, you're still making those some banknotes coins, you still maintain it as paper notes in circulation, it deteriorates quickly, it's cost to the country, and it doesn't, bring any benefit as a whole. So that is why when the demetrics exercise was done, or the note coin boundary was shifted, and the 1 Ghana cedi banknote was coined, and higher denominations were introduced. Okay. So currently, we still have these notes that we are currently using, and these notes were upgraded in 2019. And this is the banknotes we are using, and these banknotes continue to remain the pride of Ghanaians.
But as you rightly said, per the International Currency Association,
yeah.
So we're talking from 2019
yes.
to today, which is 2025.
Yes.
So that's 6 years.
Yes.
So what it means is that today, tomorrow, this year, next year, you should be looking at upgrading. Is that what it is? Upgrading the current currencies that we have.
Great. So this is not direct.
Okay.
So normally we go through a number of studies. Okay. Of course, this is what International Association of Currency Affairs have stated. But we need to look at the local context.
So basically, you're not bound.
No, you are not bound. It's a recommendation.
It's just a recommendation.
And it's a recommendation. If you look at it, the British, they did the pound where they made it a polymer.
Okay.
Europe has currently done some upgrade. A number of countries, they are always looking at technically what is best, the best sophistication in the counterfeit to be able to meet technological challenge. Also technological advancement in counterfeiting processes. So I wouldn't say directly, but as a central bank, I think we are on the market. We are also Ghanaians. We are with Ghanaians, and it's a family. We also undertake a lot of research work. We look at studies, look at counterfeiting trend, look at what is also happening elsewhere, look at the durability of the currency that we have. And let me say one thing. Sometimes we compare our environment in Ghana to other environments. But let me say that if you use the same currency in Ghana and you go and spend the same money in Europe, the one in Ghana will deteriorate faster because we find ourselves in a tropical environment where we sweat. So if I'm holding the banknote, I'm sweating. So sometimes our banknotes attracts a lot of moisture. So the level of deterioration of currencies in our part of the world is higher than in temperate areas. That is why it behoves on Ghanaians to even do a lot of work to protect the currency. We should be intentional about protecting the currency. And that one we'll talk about.
I see. Now, speaking about protecting the currency, and in your earlier submission, you talked about pride and how we should be proud of the currency that we have, which is the Ghana Cedi. Now, the central bank has had cause to express its reservations about what appears to be a waning or what appears to be a reduction of how people feel about this currency called the Cedi, and how people prefer some other currencies to the Cedi. And you have had occasions to always implore on us to maintain the Cedi, keep the Cedi, because Cedi is ours. What do you think has accounted for why that sense of pride, some Ghanaians appear to be losing it? And how do you intend to address it?
Okay. Pride, sense of pride, very monumental. So normally, that sense of patriotism is something that we need to inculcate in Ghanaians. Other jurisdictions, other nationals, they patronize their products. Because if Ghana can see the light of day anytime, any year, it depends on how Ghanaians patronize Ghana products. Very, very key.
Right. In
terms of the sense of pride, the Ghana Cedi is what we have as Ghanaians.
Good or bad?
Whether good or bad,
yes.
But it's not bad.
No, I'm saying, just for argument's sake.
Yes, yeah. We must appreciate that we have something that we must honor. We have something that we must also glorify. Because nobody is going to come from out there and come and take interest in your local currency and appreciate it. If there is anything to showcase Ghana, it's the currency. One thing is that anybody who enters any country, the first thing the person will be looking out for is the currency. When the currency that the person meets is dirty, immediately it casts some doubts about, what is inside the country. If you are entering a country and the first thing you get in touch with, which is the currency, you need currency anywhere.
Right.
So the currency is a representation of the quality of life of the people and even the dignity and the extent to which the people respect their locals. If you mishandle the currency, you mishandle your dignity. But if you protect and respect the currency, you honor the story of the nation.
Okay.
You honor the story of the nation. And now, with what Bank of Ghana is doing, we were sleeping, but the central bank is now waking everybody up to live up to times, to appreciate that there is now the need for us to respect our own. So this is why the central bank is now launching the Cedi at 60. Even though we are looking at Cedi at 60, there is an extension to everything local.
Okay.
To you and me.
Right.
The air in Ghana, the water in Ghana. How are we preserving our nature? Everything in Ghana. This is a wake-up call that unless we dignify what is Ghanaian, what is the identity of Ghana, what is our heritage, what is our identity, what is our sovereignty, what is our pride, unless we wake up to it, we will suffer as a nation.
Right. We don't have to get there. We don't want to get there. Just in case you just joined us, well, don't be confused. This is Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. We're coming to you. In fact, it's a special edition, and we're coming to you from the Accra International Conference Center, where the Bank of Ghana and, of course, Ghanaians are celebrating the 60 years of the issuance of the Ghana Cedi, and as a medium of exchange. So that's a legal tender for a medium of exchange for goods and services. And indeed, that marks a significant milestone post-independence, post-independence, and for that matter, our economic journey or economic recovery as a country. And to tell us more about the significance of today and what you should be expecting by way of the tall line of activities that the central bank will be engaging in, or will be embarking upon up until the end of this year, is Mr. Dominic Owusu, who is the head, in fact, director first and the head of currency management of the central bank. And he's walked us in the last 10-15 minutes through the rich history of the evolution of the Ghana Cedi. We've learned a lot. I hope that you have learned a lot. And there's more that you'll be telling us on the show this morning. So we're talking 60 years of the issuance of the Ghana Cedi, which is a legal tender for the issuance of, as a medium of exchange, marking a significant milestone as Ghana's post-independence economic journey. So the launch is happening today, and that kickstarts the series of planned activities that the Bank of Ghana has for all of us. So, Mr. Dominic Owusu, you have talked quite a bit about why we should be proud about the Ghana Cedi. You've talked about the sovereignty of the Cedi. You've talked about the resilience of the Cedi, and so on and so forth. Now, you've also talked about the fact that today's launch is the beginning of many things to come. And that ties in with the question I asked earlier about how did we get to a point where some Ghanaians lost that sense of pride in the Cedi, and how do you intend to reverse that? Not all of us. I mean, I'm still very proud of the Cedi, and I know many other people are proud of the Cedi. They won't change it to any other currency, but there are some persons who do, because these are what we call the economic actors, and how they react to economic activities and so on. What do you intend to do post this launch to ensure that everything you have said today is sustained within the public?
So I've put these into categories. The first one, national image. So I think it is clear that Ghanaians are doing well, and we love Ghanaians. Central Bank love Ghanaians. In terms of the way Ghanaians handle the Cedi, we are not doing bad, but we can do far better. And I think I've made it clear that it's become a little cultural in the way we do certain things. And the celebration today...
I'm sorry about that. Before we talk about the celebration today, so as you can see, we're showing you some shots of some activities happening within the print sector of the Accra International Conference Center, just so you can enjoy the other things that are happening around us. And not just be too fixated or focused on our conversation here. So whilst we're talking, we'll also bring you scenes of some of the activities that you may be missing because you're not here at the Accra International Conference Center. So, also please go ahead.
Yeah, but I want to say that if you are home, get up and then join
Come to
us
Accra
to celebrate.
Conference Center.
Let's celebrate Ghana.
Right.
I think this is a very good celebration. So please wake up from your sleep, get up from home, get some excuse duty from work, and come and join us and let's celebrate the city at 60.
Right.
So
our own city.
Our own city. Yeah. So we are not celebrating, we are celebrating Ghana City, but we are celebrating the city at 60. Our sovereignty, stability, and economic resilience. So let's look at the image.
Okay.
It is always known, when something is always around you, you look struck of its significance. So that is, it's always clear that Cedi has been with us. So we always, you handle it anyhow, because it's always around you. But today, we want it to be clear the need for us to preserve the integrity of the city. And let me make one thing clear here. The banknote you see, the production of this banknote is more than a year. Let's appreciate it. So the small banknote you see, to produce this banknote, it takes more than a year. The banknote starts from pure cotton. So to produce the banknote, you only go and buy, whoever produces the banknote, buy normal cotton. Cotton. What is it in tree? Cotton.
Atentenhuru.
Yes. You buy normal cotton. Okay. And this cotton goes through a number of processes for close to about 4 months before it becomes paper.
Okay.
So the banknote is like the jeans you wear, just that the threads in the banknotes are shorter. But to make you appreciate that the banknote is like the jeans you wear, put the banknote and jeans, and I don't want you to do that. If you put it, you leave it in a washing machine, you'll still pick the banknote. But if you put an A4 sheet in a washing machine, you won't get anything out. So the banknote goes through close to about a year process to get a banknote. If this is that sophisticated, why don't you handle it with some sense of dignity? So we see the banknote is something that we spend. It has a number of elements. It has security features that has been developed technically by advanced models. And all these features has to be put in the banknote stage by stage within a year. So the banknote you hold, it takes more than a year to produce it.
Okay.
If you saw videos of the production of the banknote, I don't think when you hold it, you would even want to try to even squeeze the tip of the banknote. Unfortunately, Ghanaians, we have a culture where banknote anytime. So we've done some research, and we've seen that when I have banknote and I want to make payments, I want the denomination to be seen. They want to go and pay, the person has to see that I'm giving him 5 cedis to be able to appreciate it. But if I'm giving the banknote as a gift, I want to squeeze it and then pass it in a way so that it is not seen. Personally, we don't know where this culture is coming from. But let me not fail to let you know that anytime you squeeze a banknote, you cause depreciation of the currency, because that banknote that you have squeezed, when it comes to the central bank, it has to be replaced. Because when you squeeze the banknote, it cannot go through automation. Counting machines have challenges processing them. So when you squeeze the banknote and crumple it, anytime you are doing this as a citizen of Ghana, knowing that you are creating the currency to be depreciated.
So it's actually a cost.
It's a cost
to the state.
Yes.
When you mishandle the currency.
Of course, it's not Ghanaians who produce the banknotes.
Right.
So anytime, and when we produce it, to purchase the banknote, we use foreign currency. So anybody who crumples or tears or writes or do anything to deteriorate the banknotes, you are creating cost for the nation. So I want to entreat everybody. And one interesting thing is that when we are in churches, we are putting in collection, we want to squeeze the banknotes. If you respect God and you are offering something to God, why do you destroy it before you give it to Him? Right. So I want to encourage Ghanaians that today marks a new beginning for the city, which is being celebrated. We should desist from any attempt to do anything that would damage the city. All right. The city is for Ghanaians, and Ghanaians must preserve it in the best way that will preserve our dignity. Another issue too that sometimes also affect the image, and we all know, but that is not what I want to dwell on, is that the currencies also serve as a store of value. Right. So in times of volatilities and depreciation and all these things, people want to store their worth. And sometimes Ghanaians think that when we store our worth in foreign currencies, it is preserved. But I think that now, over the years, Ghana has also learned a lot. Central Bank has learned a lot, and now Central Bank has gotten to a stage where I talked about the modern market-driven resilience. Right. Today we are enjoying a lot of stability. So why is it that we cannot also say that this is what we have? Anytime you spend $1 or you do a transaction in $1, you are promoting the economy of the United States. Right. When you do a transaction in the Cedi, you are promoting the economy of Ghana. Okay. So Ghanaians, it is Ghana for us. Right. So let's promote our economy and let this Cedi be a currency of choice, the only currency of choice in Ghana.
So I have a message here from a viewer. He's called Eddie. Now Eddie says, he says good morning, Moro, so that's good morning. It says countries like South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Zimbabwe, and DR Congo print their own currency in the country. Ask Dominic also if Ghana may one day do it by itself, whether one day we'll get there.
Countries like?
He mentions Kenya, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Zimbabwe, and DR Congo.
Okay, so did he say Zimbabwe?
Yeah, he mentioned Zimbabwe, that they print their own currency.
Okay. So
domestically.
So I think his examples are, some are correct, some are not correct. Okay. But that's not the relevance.
So the import of the question is, are we going to get to a point where we will...
So Nigeria prints its own currency.
Okay.
South Africa prints its own currency. Morocco is a joint venture between Crane Currency and Moroccans. Also Kenya is also a joint venture between De La Rue and Kenya, but that joint venture has collapsed, so Kenyans are not doing that. So let's see why it's there.
Okay.
So economies of scale will tell you that if your population goes beyond 30, 40 million, then you can set up your own printing facility to print.
Okay.
So Nigeria, its population is quite a lot. So Nigeria, South Africa, they have a huge population.
Right.
So economically it's viable for them to set up their own. So I think that one day if Ghana goes beyond 40, 50, it will be economically wise to print our own currency in Ghana.
Okay.
But let's see what goes into printing. It is very, very expensive to set up the system, the resources to print. I wouldn't want to be mentioning any cost.
give us
but I want to say that
an idea.
Today, this is not a priority for Ghanaians. This is not a priority.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
So today we have other things to do with our money.
That's fine.
So
that's fine.
It is not right.
But the point you want to drum home is that it will cost an arm and a leg.
It will cost. And then also, you will set it up and it will take a long time because the technology, you need a lot of foreign expatriates. who are well advanced. And one interesting thing is that once you set up the infrastructure to print, because of technological advancement, anytime there's an upgrade, you have to upgrade that system. Ooh. That is it, because if you see the banknotes we even printed, if you had a setup to print the 2007 banknotes, in 2019 you would have had to do significant financial upgrade of the system to print. That is why Kenya currently the system is not there, because the upgrading of those systems was not in tandem with technological advancement.
So they've been outpaced.
Exactly. So it is cost. Apart from that, the raw material. So Nigeria does not produce the raw material.
Okay.
So it means that the paper will have to produce, and it's also about 40% of the cost.
Okay.
So it means that the paper will have to be produced elsewhere. You have to ship it into the country, and then you have to now do the printing. So the raw materials, the infrastructure, the human resources, you can train some Ghanaians to do it. But all these things are huge costs. So you have to set your priorities. Today is not our priority as Ghanaians.
Right.
So we are not
I think that, like, as I did indicate, I mean, for persons who are hoping and wishing that someday we'll get there, it is not a bad aspiration, but it's not going to come cheap. I think that's the point you're making, so I get that point. But just in case you just joined us, we are coming to you live from the Accra International Conference Center. The Central Bank, or Ghana Central Bank, Bank of Ghana, is celebrating 60 years since the birth of the Ghana Cedi as a legal tender, as a medium of exchange. And it's marking that significant milestone here at the Accra International Conference Center. The launch is happening at 10 a.m., but ahead of the launch, we are talking to the man who's in charge of the currency management at the Central Bank to walk us through the importance or the significance of the day and what to expect today and subsequently the other days to come. So please keep watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Don't go anywhere.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Victory, celebration, legacy. It's 40 years of Jesus is our victory. Join Victory Bible Church International for the Wonderful Jesus Conference 2025. A power-packed celebration marking 40 glorious years of God's faith and God's grace. It all begins on Saturday, 12th October with the Mega Praise and Worship Night, a night of pure gratitude and praise. Then get ready for the Wonder Walk on October 25th, a citywide walk of testimony and victory. From October 27th to the 30th of October, the Wonderful Jesus Conference continues live at the VBCI Dominion Sanctuary, Awoshi Junction. Expect nothing but divine encounters, miracles, and transformation. On October 31st, meet us at the Independence Square for a nationwide gathering of worship, power, and the Word. Then on November 1st, join the outreach program at Mancho Agbona. Then let's touch lives and share the love of Jesus Christ. And finally, the grand service at the Independence Square on November 2nd. Come and witness the glory of 40 years of victory. Ministering are Bishop N.A. Takiyaboy, Bishop Clement Amankwa Isehene, Bishop Elijah Saforo, and Bishop Emmanuel Akon. Wonderful Jesus Conference 2025. 40 years of grace, power, and impact. From the 12th of October to the 2nd of November. Victory Bible Church International invites you to celebrate Jesus because Jesus is our victory.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama o manyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kakalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain was key to double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Femi sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso tell you now.
Come on, Tom Preko.
Ama, nansi mi general well-being enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basima kra. Ama me kunu ne me into kwankwa. Oh you why? Enye mo ko. Give us GC mixture and the capsules. Aye num boom. And what some na more kana. E bua emma ene meme nyina. Ne ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be masima. Ya, we be bua wo kunu. Ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum. Na wanyinya ne nim tisese ne wo yi chopmo. GC mixture and a capsule. Ashisa.
apem for abatra one more menu for one kwada we if you do me
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey him later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from to be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter what you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it away, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Special edition of Good Morning Ghana, which is coming to you live from the Accra International Conference Center. My name is Audu Moro. Now, it's a special edition because we're not in our usual regular studios. We're coming to you from AICC. Now, as I said to you earlier, it's simple. We're here because we're partnering the Bank of Ghana to, launch the 60th anniversary of Ghana's currency, Ghana's legal tender. I'm talking about the Cedi. The Cedi is 60 years. In fact, it turned 60 on the 19th of July 2025, and we are, when I say we, I'm talking about Metro TV and the Central Bank are launching it officially today. In fact, there's lots of activities which have been lined up till the end of the year to mark this all-important celebration of its anniversary. And I've been talking the last hour and a half to one Mr. Dominic Osu, who is the head and director of currency management at the Central Bank, who's been walking us through the history of the Cedi. I'm talking about its evolution since 1965, and also some of the activities that have been lined up, but unfortunately he had to leave us to attend to some very, very urgent matters. But what I can tell you is that this place, the Accra Conference Center, has become a beehive of activities. There's lots and lots of things happening here. So you notice that even in our interaction, occasionally we'll give you shots or we'll take you to some other aspect of, or some other places within the precincts of the place, just so you catch a glimpse of the other things that are happening beyond the conversations that we're having here in our makeshift studio here at Good Morning Ghana. So guess what? Joining us this morning to continue from where perhaps Dominic also left off, not in terms of speaking for the Central Bank, some other aspect of the conversation, which has to do with the institutions that play a very, very key role in protecting the currency. I'm talking about the banks. Now, Joining me this morning is a man whom I've known for many, many, many years since my days at Cedi FM. He's always been involved in PR stuff. I mean, he's a very key member of the public relations, association. But I found out this morning, to my joy and excitement, that he's now joined the banking fraternity in his capacity as the head of marketing for West Africa United Bank of Africa. I'm talking about UBA. My very good friend, Henry Ni Dote, who has assured me that after this show, he'll play some adverts on Good Morning Ghana for two reasons: because of the size and the magnitude of the platform, and also because of the fact that we are friends and he knows what I can do for his company. I'm talking about UBA in terms of enhancing its image and everything. So it's an assurance, and I'm sure that he would repeat that on the show when I bring him in. I'm talking about Henry Ni Dote, and he's massive. He's a big man. Henry, good to see you. How are you?
Happy to be here.
How are you?
Long time.
No, you are. You know, there's something called prosperity cannot hide itself, and to think that as somebody who's been involved in PR stuff, you're now at the top echelons of the banking world. I mean, I can't hide my joy to say that I'm proud of you.
Knowing what I know about you, I'm not too sure where you are leading with this conversation. But I'm certainly happy to join you on this studio and this studio this morning. We talk about Cedi at 60,
right?
Celebrate the currency,
right?
And that's why I'm here. So
fantastic.
Let's do that. When we are done, we can talk about that.
All right, but the other one, I want you to make that promise on the show. So you would make that promise. So don't worry. But also joining us is a man whom, interestingly, we've been talking over the phone from time to time, but we're meeting for the first time in person. I'm talking about the man, Mr. John Ewua, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Banks, and he's joined us here. John, good to see you. How are you?
Same here.
Hey,
I'm well.
You are larger than life.
Oh no, I mean, God has been good.
I know. The thing I like about John, he's been very consistent with his advocacy for what he believes is good for the banks, and so on and so on. It's very consistent. It doesn't matter what regime. They say the truth is only one. So John, it's good to see you once again, and
thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes. But I noticed before I even ask you what you're doing here, typically when you hear associations, you hear president or perhaps chairman, But in your case, I see Chief Executive Officer.
Yeah.
Why?
So I'll put it this way: I'm the official within the association. The presidents come and go.
Okay.
So the president is your typical board chairman. And the CEO is the one who runs the day-to-day affairs of the association.
Oh, okay. And I think it's something that's peculiar to the Association of Banks, because typically with associations...
It's just not... people have not really brought their attention to it, but it's almost everywhere. If you go to ICA, you have the president of Institute of Chartered Accountants, and you have the chief executive. If you go to Chartered Institute of Bankers, you have the president, who is Benjamin Venume, and then you have the chief executive, who is Robert Jatu. I mean, it's all the various associations that have come to know, except that in some of the associations, because the presidents more or less work like full-time, they overshadow the entire work of the association being executed by the CEO. But in our case, my president is a managing director of a bank. He has a bigger problem to run. So this is more or less like a part-time
So can I simply describe you as the secretary to the association, more or less?
It used to be called executive secretary.
Oh, executive secretary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. So what are you doing here?
Ghana Cedi is for all of us.
Okay.
So I'm here to join the nation in celebrating our own currency.
Yeah. What is there to celebrate from where you sit?
I think we have a lot to celebrate. Sometimes you don't take stock as a people. There's so much to celebrate. The Cedi has gone through various iterations in history, and Mr. Usu has already taken us through all the iterations from Kwame Nkrumah's time all the way to ex-President Rawlings and to now. And there's so much to be proud of. Obviously, a lot could have been done better, but I think we are on a good trajectory at the moment, and we should be proud of what we are doing.
Let me ask you, Sain, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I work with a bank. We are partners with the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana is the one that owns the currency, but circulates the currency through the various banks, currently 23 commercial banks in Ghana. And so typically, like Mr. Osu does, we will go to Mr. Osu to go and ask for the currency. And he gives it to us. We'll come and use it to trade and give to you, collect back, take back to him, and the process goes on and on and on. So we're there to ensure financial intermediation. We're there to facilitate the payment of goods and services through the provision of the currency and other platforms which is enabled by the currency behind them. So, of course, when the Cedi is celebrating 60 years, it's one that we're happy about, we're proud of because of the role that we play in the financial sector in the country, and therefore we're happy to be here to celebrate the Ghana Cedi at 60.
Now, let me come back to you, Mr. Johnny. Now, let's look at the theme for this year's celebration, and let me pick your thoughts on that. So it says, 60 years of the Cedi, a symbol of sovereignty, stability, and economic resilience. Would you say this is apt?
Fantastic. I tell you, they say if you want to change a person's history, you change their name. So name is very important. What we are doing as a country, where a lot of our activities are being embedded within somebody else's currency, what we are doing is changing the character of the country, which should never be. Dollar is not our currency. If you change the name of the currency of your country, you are removing the sovereignty of the nation. That we live here, but we are more delighted with somebody else's currency, which we have no control over. So I think the theme is apt. We should have every confidence in our own currency, make sure that we keep it well, we protect it, and we value it. If you give $10 to someone and give 10 Ghana cedis to that same person, you find that their level of even how they hold the currency differs. It should never be, because dollar is somebody else's currency. We should be very happy and content with what we have, and if we keep it stable, obviously, there's no way anybody will take delight in selling maybe property in USD or GBP or Euro, or selling a vehicle in another currency. We should transact 100% of all transactions in this country should be undertaken in the Ghana Cedi.
You have any thoughts to share on the theme?
Yeah, I mean, sitting from where I work in 20 countries in Africa, where I've seen various currencies and conversions and all, I think that it's a pride that your currency is sovereign. When we say sovereign, that it is the highest form of exchange in our country. We're proud of that. Moving from days of the colonial rule, from the British pound to the Ghana Cedi, was a significant step in growing this country. You would say that people have, various countries have a currency where they are able to trade together across. But if we have our settlement platforms going well and we're able to, match the currencies, we're still able to trade. So, for example, today in UBA and through the pass, for example, you see that we're able to send money in Cedi to somebody outside of Ghana, and the person will receive equivalent value in their local currency, which is where we should be getting towards. So when somebody in another country, say Nigeria sends Naira to somebody in Ghana through the channel that we have created, the person will receive Ghana Cedi here. Because like Mr. Wa said, dollarizing our economy has hurt us so badly because we don't have control. And you give, like you said, you give the two currencies to somebody, and they don't even fold the dollar note.
No, they don't.
But you get in the Cedi, and it's not even, they don't even fold it to, they crumple it. And you go into the church, people are giving offertory. You go to places where people are exchanging or selling, and then people treat our currency. So we need to treat our currency with a lot of dignity and respect because it's sovereign. It is a symbol of one of the symbols of our independence as a country, and I think we need to cherish it. So it's a happy moment for all of us to celebrate the currency at 60 years.
And interestingly, as we talk, you talked about dollarization.
Yeah.
And closely tied to the dollarization. And it's dollarization because we don't have high regard for the Cedi. We prefer somebody else's currency to ours. But even those who are handling our currency, there are persons who are abusing it, as you rightly said. I mean, what do you think has accounted for this? Is it because the people don't know? Is it ignorance? Or you think it's that's just us? We don't tend to respect that which is ours.
It's a very difficult question, but you see, we have a certain kind of thinking, particularly when it comes to like giving. that they say when right is given, the left shouldn't see. So if somebody is giving money to you, they have to fold it, and even people who give stuff on the road to some people on the road, they fold it like this and give. So we need it's a psychological thing, and we need to work on that psychology. And I think the Bank of Ghana and also as community of banks, we have a lot of work to do in that area to educate the public. I know Bank of Ghana has been doing quite a lot in that area. They are doing market storms, educating the market queens to handle the currency with care and with dignity, because that is the symbol of our identity. And if you crumple it, you are destroying your own identity. So it's public education, it's mass education. Everybody from a toddler to octogenarians are all handling the same Ghana cedi. We need to get to the same level of understanding, because I'm not sure you crumple your cedi. You put it in your wallet nicely, fold it nicely, you keep it away nicely. And you go to the bank present the cedi or the currency to you in a very nicely packed way. Why can't we keep it in that manner when we are also paying? You are at the point of paying, you are a teller. You are also a teller paying to somebody. So behave like a bank teller who is giving to you in a presentable form. It is all about education. And I think we need to intensify our public education in that area about how we handle our currency, the kind of pride. Do people really take pride in the currency? It's because over the years, the currency has been abused. You understand? It has been abused so much so that, we add all kinds of funny, kind of connotations to our currency. We don't do the same thing to the USD. We don't do the same thing to the GBP. So the managers of the economy must also do that which will make people interested in our currency. One of which is, in fact, a key pillar of it is making sure the currency is stable. I mean, I say it every time. It is not about appreciation or depreciation. It is when we identify that this is the price, to what extent are we able to keep it within that confine, some narrow window within which the currency can move up or down. But the situation where today is 10.5, then tomorrow is 14, it makes people lose confidence in it. So then let me hold it in a currency where I can store the value and I can get a predetermined value. You understand? But I mean, if your currency is stable, why do you need somebody else's currency? I'll give you an example. I'll think about maybe 8 or 7 years ago. I was in South Africa, and I was in a hotel the last day before I would come to Ghana. I was in a hotel thinking, oh, my flight is 3 hours away. Oh, let me just cool off in the hotel a little. When I decided to finally check out of the hotel, they gave me the bill. I gave them the dollar. They said, no, we don't take dollar here. I said, give me any rate.
So proud.
Give me any rate. He said, no. We are not allowed to take dollar. Finished. Okay. I had to rush to the shopping mall close by to convert. And in South Africa, when you convert dollar to rand, they charge you commission. They charge you. So they make it inconvenient to handle dollar. So we want to get to the same point where you go to a hotel and you want to pay dollar, and the hotelier will tell you, no, you can't pay dollar here. We don't trade in dollar in this hotel. You go to the restaurant, they say, no, we don't trade in dollar in this. Houses are labeled in cedis, cars are on the market in cedis. Over time, then confidence will deepen and deepen, trust in the currency will improve, and even how we handle the currency will be affected. Right. Because they say, as a man where your treasure is, that is where your heart is. So if you see that your treasure is in your local currency, your heart is there, and therefore you preserve it.
I mean, Henry, do you agree with him when he says a national reorientation is needed relative to how we handle our currency? Do you agree with him?
Absolutely. And Moro, the thing is that many people have taken advantage of our currency to dupe us. Because somebody sell a product, and we saw that in the last few months. They're selling this product for $10. They see cedi appreciation, so it's no longer sold in dollars. They give you a cedi price. When the reverse happens, they change the price to dollar. Because, people who are trading always want to see how they can exert more money. And because of the conversion and exchange gains or losses, they try to play on our ignorance. And so if everybody would own up to say that I don't want to transact this in dollar, but in Cedi. I was buying something and they got the price in dollar. I said, no, I don't trade I can't pay you in dollar. I need a Cedi value. Even though they just converted at the rate, but they even marked up and give. I said, I'd rather pay you in Cedi, so you go look for a dollar if you think that you need dollar. Because look, we need to have a sense of ownership, belief in our currency, which is what we have lost. And like I said, people hold this sometimes just as a store of value, not because they need their currency to trade or anything, but they think that the value of the dollar is more stable than the Cedi. And therefore, if the managers of the economy, from what we see from the Bank of Ghana doing, we know that the Cedi is going to be stable. A lot more people will, be happy to trade in the Cedi. We should take more pride in the Cedi. It will give us, some good returns. It will help things to be stabilized. Prices will not be inflating the way they are because people are not converting from dollar to Cedi all the time and things are changing. You can plan better because you know that this is the price. Knowing what inflation rates are, it gives you some level of planning in terms of what your expenditure is and all of that. So we need to definitely be more patriotic in our currency. We need to have a lot more ownership in our currency. And I tell you that we'll be the better off in this country.
We're told that one of the things that the central bank has earmarked as part of the activities for this celebration is that there's going to be the opening of a currency museum. Good idea?
Yeah, I mean, it's about legacy and history.
Okay.
You need to know your past if you are to chart our way forward. We need to understand why we changed our currencies. So that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. I think the currency museum. I mean, if I take my kids for instance, the only Cedi they have seen is the Cedi that we are presently using, which is the Ghana Cedi. We call Ghana Cedi. But what if there's a museum and I take my kids there, and they are able to tell, hey, so the Cedi used to look like this. Oh, look, Kwame Nkrumah's image, it was on this one, and they become part. And I think it will create a lot more affinity to the currency. And I think it's a very good initiative for the central bank to take.
If I add to this, I'm told one of the stories I've heard about how we came by Tro was that back in the day when you have the currency, part of the currency called Tro, you pay Tro for the ride. Right. And people, when you don't have change, they talk about take the one that will charge you the Tro. So we took the Tro and it became the name for the one that we take. Okay. And so the evolution of the Cedi in itself has left in its wake some important parts of our history. It's important that we I didn't meet Tro, I didn't spend Tro, but I know about it. Okay. There are parts of the currency that have evolved. I saw currency before redenomination. But like I said, our children don't know about the currency we had before then and all that. So it'll be very important to have this museum so we can educate people, the new generation, to get to know about the evolution, the changes that we've gone through with the currency.
Let's look at some of the activities that have been lined up to celebrate today. And I want to find out from you whether, from where you sit, that's it, or you think that there's something else which has been left out that you would have wished was added. So, for instance, we're told that there's going to be, of course, the national launches today, and then we have mobile currency exhibitions, and then we have educational campaigns on currency handling and security features, the student competition, stakeholder dialogues, and a flagship currency conference, which is held at Accra International Conference Center. Would you say this is enough, or they could have added a bit more?
I think perhaps central bank has really thought through. Okay. Some of the things I haven't even seen this. I know I have the letter in my office. Okay. But they've thought through in coming out with this. What I believe we should do, as community of banks, we have to also piggyback on it and also run some programs, in our various bank branches to augment the effort at the central bank, particularly on this. Where we're talking about the public awareness and the education about currency handling and the security features. So it's important that as banks, we don't see this as a Bank of Ghana thing. It is a Ghana thing, and that all of us, the media, the banking community, the central bank, now we know they are deeply involved, all go behind this to make it a success. But I like the idea of the public education, and it should not be an event. It shouldn't be because of an anniversary. I think it should be in the Bank of Ghana calendar on their public engagement, to occasionally go, have a program to take the country through how the currency should be handled and the various security features, so we can rid the currency of this counterfeiting and the like. Even if somebody sees a counterfeit, you pay me with counterfeit. What are the processes that, as someone who potentially would have suffered from that counterfeiting, what can I do? Those are things that we need to take the banking population, actually the general public, through to understand exactly what the expectations are. So I think it's good, except that the banks can also add on and have various. You've seen that we've mounted a booth. All the banks are represented here. We need to, kind of continue doing something like that to augment the work that Bank of Ghana is doing.
I've had some people suggest that, look, the best way to honor and to safeguard the integrity and the resilience of the city is the best way to honor and to safeguard the future of the city is to make sure that we keep making it resilient. What do you, let me ask you, Harry, but do you think that, what do you make of that suggestion?
It is, and I mean, it all boils down to the education, so people become
to actually honor the legacy in the future. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, yes. I mean, going forward, maybe in the future, the legacy, what is done for us, is continue to educate people, for people to be aware of what it potential, so that it won't just be John or myself or people who work in a bank who will say that, no, I don't want to pay you for something in another currency, I want to pay you. Everybody should be conscious about that. And I was happy to have joined the ladies within the banking industry last Saturday to go on a walk and the theme, breast in breast, Cedi in pairs, because we try to look at how we're using breast cancer awareness within a month, also especially about the currency. On Thursday, again, the ladies are going to the Makola market to talk to the women, the traders, to value the currency more, treat the notes with some dignity, ensure that we can prolong the lifespan of our note to trade in that. So these activities, including what the Bank of Ghana has planned as a national program, and again, like John said, even from an association level, how we can all come together as banks, as industry players, as interested people, so that people will appreciate the Ghana Cedi for what it is, appreciate it as the sole legal tender for transacting and doing business in Ghana. And if we do that and drum that consciousness in, if my child knows that the currency we spend in Ghana is Cedi and every transaction is in Cedi, by the time it gets to the R10 and taking over the reins of the government, I think that the dollarization of the economy will have been played down significantly and will help to grow the Cedi. And therefore, its future will only be bright.
I'll be finding out from you what exactly is your role today, whether you're just passive, you're going to be passive participants or active participants. If it's going to be active, what exactly are you going to be doing beyond just showing up? But let me just say that in case you just joined us, as I mentioned at the early stages of my introduction, or when I introduced the show, I said we're coming to you from the conference center. We are joining the central bank to launch 60 years of the emergence of the Cedi. 1965. The Cedi is 60 years old. So if the Cedi was a human being, it would have been retiring by now. But the Cedi unfortunately can't retire because we need it. And we say the Cedi, our pride and our heritage. Okay, so joining me in our makeshift studio here at the conference center, where we will bring you a live coverage of everything you need to know about today's big event, is Mr. John Ewa, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Banks, and also a very good friend, Henry Nidote, who is the Head of Marketing, UBA West Africa. So I mean, beyond just showing up here, is there any role that you're playing specifically? I mean, as far as today's launch is concerned, John.
I would say this launch is squarely on our lap.
Oh, okay.
As banks.
I mean, this is actually your event.
Yeah, it's our event. Bank of Ghana is the lead, and then we are just all following. If you go to the program, you will find that some of the MDs have been interviewed, even myself sitting here. I've given a soundbite for today's program. Again, there's a conference on Ghana, the Cedi at 60, that is going to hold somewhere, I think, 17th to 21st of November. I'm a panel member on that conference. It's going to have people from varied backgrounds all coming over a 3-day period to talk about the Cedi and how we can create a more resilient, respectful currency going into the future. So, as community of banks, we are very much at the center of it. So, we are not just participants at all.
In fact, you are the chief organizers of this event. The central bank is just a face, but you are the main organizers of this. But Henry, so I guess that goes to you as well.
But beyond that, also to support the education sensitization, which is why the United Bank for Africa has mounted a booth to tell people about how the currency has evolved also, how we have used the currency to support trade and business in the country. So I'll invite everybody out there to say, come to the AICC, and when you get there, make sure that you visit the UBA booth to learn about the currency, learn about what we have done, and learn about what is available on offer, because we're here to support the currency and make sure that the future of Ghana is strong, built on a very resilient and strong currency.
Finally, let me say my penultimate question. Should we start punishing people who abuse the currency?
I mean, if there's a mechanism for arresting it, it's behavior.
Apparently, the law is there's actually a legal regime.
No, of course.
Except that we've not implemented, we've not enforced it.
Yeah. I mean, if you deface the currency, it costs money to print it. You are actually
but Dominic mentioned it.
Yeah, you are creating financial loss. I mean, by a clear extension of that law, it's a financial loss to the state if you are defacing it, and that's why I think Bank of Ghana said we're going to come out with a law that was going to ban even showering of money on people during events and funerals and stuff like that. Because when you do that, people step on it. It's all defacing the currency. The currency has some fine security features on its surface. The more you put it there, people are trampling on it and the like. You are defacing and you are removing some of the security features, making it difficult for the note counting machines to identify counterfeits from the system. So if there is a way, but I would go for public education. Nobody would, out of knowledge, decide that I'm just destroying the currency. It is more or less, it comes naturally to them that they want to give you money to a third party, how to do it this way and give to the person. Just fold it nicely and give to the person. The person gets it, should also have a wallet where the money should be stored properly. Just like when you come to the bank, we present it to you nicely. You have to also present it the same manner when you are giving to a third party.
And I can tell you that John Ewa would demonstrate that shortly. He'll be giving it 10,000 cedis, and he would demonstrate how to transmit or to transfer that money to a third party. And I would demonstrate how to keep that money in my wallet. It's all part of the public education. We're trying to reorient Ghanaians and to know how to handle the currency. And then he would do 10,000 cedis, and he would do that illustration here for Ghanaians.
I'm calling the chief accountant of Metro
And then
TV.
Also, Henry Nidote, he because he's the head of marketing West Africa, he would be promising very soon on how to give me 20,000 cedis, and he will be illustrating how to handle the Ghana cedis. And so 30,000 cedis is what we're going to be leaving here on Good Morning Ghana. So I don't know whether you've changed your mind.
I mean,
have you changed your mind?
No, I've spoken to you, the chief accountant of Metro TV. He's on his way with the bullion van.
What we should do is actually to give you some ECD.
Yeah.
I mean, when
we're doing public education.
So I want the ECD for your information.
The ECD.
It's the ECD.
No, this one the ECD people they won't see. Will see.
You want to see cash?
Yes.
Okay. After the show.
After the show.
Yeah. The bullion van is out there.
The viewers will see.
The bullion van is out there. Yeah, we will display it in the bullion van.
So I was just asking John whether you also thought that it's time to enforce it. Look, you abuse the Cedi, you have to face the penalty or face the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, laws are made for society to correct wrongs and ensure that people will do what is right. And I think that even though they say ignorance of the law is no excuse, I agree with John when he says that we need to do a lot more public education. We've been too quiet for a long time on this, and so we need to create the awareness. And after that, when we've created awareness and just as people, to a certain extent, we can begin to now enforce the sanctions. I've seen people use the currency in ways that are unthinkable. Even on television sets, of course, not on Metro TV, but I know you guys are very responsible. But
thank you very much.
I mean, people have done unthinkable things with the currency. It's about time that we change the mindset, we change the outlook of the currency. We all need to come together to make this a possibility. And thereafter, I will support 100% the Bank of Ghana going after people who are defacing our currency and doing all manner of things with the currency.
John, you have talked about the stability of the city. And you're saying that one of the reasons why perhaps some people do have lost their sense of pride in the city is because of its, what we call Palogo, the Palogo dance. Today is this, tomorrow is that. And you have said that until and unless we stabilize it, some persons won't have that confidence in it to use that as a store of value. From where you sit as the Association of Bankers and the Association of Banks, you certainly are worried. And you mentioned that in your earlier comment about how the city just drops from, or appreciates from, say, 13 or 12, and then bang to 10. And that kind of instability bothers especially not yourself, but also, in addition to you, the business community. What do you, and as we celebrate the city today, what can you suggest? I'm sure you've done that quietly, but publicly, what do you think we can do to maintain the stability we've seen over this period of time, so that, and what level of depreciation would you say is acceptable? Because I heard you, I also heard you say that, look, yes, some level of depreciation would always happen, some blip of a sort, because we're a third world country. Two questions in one: what can we do to stabilize the city? And even if the city has to depreciate, what do you think should be the level of depreciation which would say acceptable to players in the economy, such as the banks?
Yeah, the currency mimics what is happening in the economy. So whatever we are doing now, I would say continue. You understand? You've seen a lot of fiscal discipline. You've seen some level of fiscal consolidation. On the monetary policy side, Bank of Ghana is also biting the bullet. When they had to increase policy rates, they did. And when they had to reduce it, they reduced it because inflationary outlook had suppressed. Inflation is below 10%. All these things go together to strengthen the currency. So what we are seeing now is not by accident. And we've also seen some level of intervention by Bank of Ghana. Because why do we get speculators into the market? It is that level of volatility that attracts the speculation. So if we can eliminate that volatility, let the currency be priced at a level that reflects the demand and supply pressures within the economy, then we are good to go. And again, I like the things the Bank of Ghana, it has been doing. I mean, at least now rechanneling the FX supply from the mining companies, from the oil companies, back through the banking system, and also getting out of direct intermediation by Bank of Ghana. Let the banks be the mode of transmission of monetary policy. That is why we are there. So Bank of Ghana give us the assurance that when we come there's demand and we come to the auction. We don't have to give you a customer name or whoever we are going to give to. There are documents that support the demand side, and then the banks are doing the direct intermediation, giving the money to the bank, because that assurance of supply is what will remove the speculation. Once speculation goes away, then it is the movement in the currency will be driven by economic activity. Okay. Whether we are having our export strength, the strength of our exports, commodity pricing, the commodity prices, cocoa, oil, and then those are the things that will feed our foreign reserves and help us to have the capacity to protect our currency. Okay. So the key element of a function of money, aside medium of exchange, is store of value. Okay. The moment the store of value is frustrated, people will look for alternative to store value. Because nobody wants to work and watch the money disappear.
So you're saying it's a normal, rational behavior?
It is rational. I mean, if American currency, if the dollar tumbles in a way that creates a problem for the citizens of America, they'll begin looking for alternatives. People will go into gold. People will go into other financial products or other means of storing value. So we need to just provide the assurance of stability. Once that assurance is there, there is no motivation for you. You get paid in cedis, then you go and exchange into dollars. To do what? When people say, oh, we want to make withdrawal from the bank and we were charged 5%, then I ask them the question, okay, so you withdrew the money to do what? You withdrew dollar over the counter to do what? What is it in this country that you need dollar to do that Cedi cannot do? We need to get to that level where our confidence is in only one currency. If by design or by your business conduct you earn foreign currency, you spend the foreign currency in local currency, because that is the only legal tender this country has.
You, when I say you, the banks, and I'm not making any specific reference to UBA, because I haven't done business with UBA yet, and I'm sure that I'll be doing that. You have come under some criticisms for denying the public foreign currency. So I come to say UBA, or I come to Samsung Bank and said, I need 50,000 or 100,000 US dollars. You say you don't have it. So I'm forced to go to the streets. Now, that, we're told, has contributed significantly to the depreciation of the cedi and appreciation of the dollar doesn't appreciate, so the dollar is always where it is. But either the depreciation or appreciation of the cedi. How, when you hear these things about how, Abochi has a dollar, the banks don't have it. Is it true that oftentimes when clients come to the banks, they struggle to get what they want, and so they may have to go to the streets, and that is having an adverse effect on the strength of the city? Well, what do you have to say when you hear these things?
See, the business of banking is regulated, and there are rules that govern what we do within the banking industry. Unfortunately, what these customers will not tell you is that when they come, they are unable to provide the evidence or the documentation to support or back the transactions that they claim that they are going to do. So, like Mr. Wa said a while ago, that if we go to the Bank of Ghana, we can provide the requisite documentation. I give you examples. Somebody come and says that I'm buying cars to come and sell in Ghana, so I want to do what we call in our advance payment.
Okay.
So they say, okay, I need to pay for the goods before the cars are brought to me, or to bring me some goods to come and sell in Ghana. You do the advance payment for them. You say the goods will be arriving in the country in the next 90 days. You say after 90 days, bring evidence that the goods actually came to Ghana. They're able to prove sale. You understand?
Yes.
And so you must have documentation. People who have come and provided their genuine documents about what they are doing in transactions, their needs have been met, because, like someone said, people just come for the dollar to try and store value, because they think that when they exchange at a different date, they might get more in terms of the local currency. But that is not banking, that's not trading. So anybody who walks to the bank or walks to UBA and says, okay, I'm traveling, this is my ticket, I have my visa and reservations, and I need to travel and I need foreign currency because I'm going out of Ghana, they will be given. If you are doing legit business and you provide your documentation to back your transaction, your business, you'll be supported to...
You don't have it?
No. Look, I doubt that any bank will tell a customer that I don't have it. I mean, this might see you. I doubt that any bank will say that I don't have the dollar.
But was there at some point in time a short supply of the dollar?
Let me.
Okay, you want to come in, please? Yes, please.
Let me come in. You see, when people compare dollar availability in the parallel market or Abochi to the availability within the banking system, as he said, one thing they don't tell you is what documents are they using to undertake that dollar transaction. Clearly, if you go to the Abochi, sometimes with a text message, they are able to transfer 200,000 Ghana cedis, $200,000 with a text message. No bank will transfer money because you have sent a text message or an email without documentation. So we need to distinguish between the kind of documentation requirement and also the customers who are just unable to use the banking system because they have outstanding documents. And when they have outstanding documents and the importation that they said they were bringing did not really come. What do? They will go to Abochi because their presence in the banking system is not.
Because Abochi
it's
is
not
not
needed.
regulated,
It's not allowed.
To provide documentation to anybody. You trade at will. What he likes.
Who regulates Abochi?
So you think these criticisms are unfair?
If you have documents, legitimate business documents, even personal documents, you are paying school fees, you are doing this, you bring all your documents. I can tell you, every bank you go will do the transfer for you.
Oh, so all this, so all these claims and assertions and things that we hear.
Abochi can make $200,000 payment to you on a WhatsApp message.
Yes.
A bank will not do that. You need documentation.
Yes.
We are regulated, and would we want a country like Ghana for people for dollar, which is not our currency, to be leaving the shores of this country with text messages, with pieces of papers? Is that the country that we want to build? So if somebody goes to Abochi and is able to do that, he is not being patriotic. Come through the banking system. Let's see the audit trail. Let's see if it's an advance payment. Let's see the documents once the imported product comes. Let's see that you are paying your taxes. You understand? What a lot of these business people won't tell you is they do advance payment of 100,000. The goods that came has been undervalued to 5,000. Then they pay taxes on 5,000. Then you see that there's an outstanding documentation of 15,000. So we need to disassociate the availability of foreign currency within the black market environment and foreign currency within the mainstream banking environment. Banks have forex to undertake all legitimate transfers, legitimate, fully documented transfers. If you talk to any bank, the bank will help you to do it.
All right, Johnny, I want to thank you very much for joining us. It's been wonderful talking to you, and I like the insights that you shared. We're so grateful that you made time to join us this morning. Thank you so very much. So Mr. Johnny is the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Banks. He took time off his very busy schedule to join us for us to talk about this all-important and August occasion and talking about the launch of the 60 years anniversary celebration of our city. You know, that's our legal tender, our currency, our sovereign currency. And I also want to say a big thanks to you, Henry Nidote. It's been good seeing you after almost 5-10 years. You know, I beg, don't run away. We're still good friends. Thank you so very much. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Now, let me also say that the event itself, the program, would start in the next few minutes. And what I can tell you is that we'll be bringing you a live feed from the auditorium of the conference center, where the event is ongoing. My very good friend, Kwesi Friye, will also be bringing you, he'll be taking you through this live event. And please stay with us, don't go anywhere. You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television special edition. We're coming to you from the Accra International Conference Center. My name is Awudu Moro. I'm the host of Good Morning Ghana. But it's a special edition because today we're partnering the Ghana Central Bank to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Ghana Cedi. Ghana Cedi is our legal tender. We use it as a medium of exchange. And today's event signals a massive, a very significant milestone as far as Ghana's journey, economic journey is concerned post-independence. And we've had an array of persons or guests who have joined us in our makeshift studio here at the Accra International Conference Center. And we've had the banks, the Association of Banks, and also my very good friend who's the head of marketing, UBA, and West Africa, who has been talking to us about why we are here, the importance of what is the sit of this auspicious occasion. Also joining us here as our guest this morning is Mr. Tom Michel, who is the Vice President of the currency research. Why he's here. And also Mr. Robert Jatto is Chief Executive Officer of the Chartered Institute of Banking. So I'll start with you, Tom. Tom, sure. Good to see you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. And first time in Ghana?
It is my first time in Ghana, although I'm already excited to come back a little bit later on in November.
Oh, great. I'm happy. There's something in marketing, there's something called repeat purchase. Once there's repeat purchase, then it means that the service provider is doing a good job. Yeah, because he says he's coming back in December, isn't it? All right, great. Good to see you again. And we say Akwaba. In Ghana, we say Akwaba.
Akwaba.
Yes, it means you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. And then also Mr. Robert Jatto is, as his date indicate, he's the CEO, Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana. Mr. Jatto? Yeah. Akwaba? Yeah. Now the conversation is, the conversation on whether we should be adding some other, dialect, which is, what was the name? Something Obake or something. But that's not why you're here. Sure. So let me start with you, Mr. Tom Michel. First of all, tell me, currency research. What is this institution about? Sure. What do you do?
So Currency Research is an international organization that really focuses on bringing together banks with the industries that they serve. So our particular focus for a long time has been on serving central banks as regards their needs on knowledge to do with cash production, circulation and usage, and more recently has focused on central banks on the payment side, helping to understand and develop national payment systems to bring on different forms of digital payments. And really what we do is we broaden knowledge of what central banks are doing to their peers across the region and across the world. And we also help to ensure that they're connected with the cycles underneath them to ensure that as a country's cash or payment system develops, it does so in a way that is inclusionary and future-proof. It's my first time in Ghana, so we are working with the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana have asked us to help them with producing the Cedi at 60 Anniversary Currency Conference, which in many ways I think is a little bit similar to the event that we have going on today, albeit a little bit more internationalized. So the event today is, I think, really focusing on a Ghanaian celebration. Whereas the 17th, to the 20th of November, when we bring this back, it'll be a slightly smaller event, but with a more international flavor. We are looking to bring in attendees and knowledge and speakers from outside of Ghana, especially from across Africa, but on a more global basis, to understand really that as Ghana has such a leading role in some of the developments that we're seeing in terms of cash production, distribution, and also payments proliferation, what does that look like in the context of what is going on in other countries? There have been other countries who've done things already to do with digital payments. Maybe they've launched a digital currency or a CBDC. Maybe that's not quite worked. Maybe it has worked. And what can we learn from that in terms of the pathway that Ghana has chosen, and make sure that whatever the pathway is correct, is future-proof, is cost-efficient, and serves the public.
Chartered Institute of Bankers, what are you doing here?
Excellent. At Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, our mandate is to promote banking education, but also regulate the practice of the banking profession. And so, what's banking without a currency? And what's a currency without a cedi? I can't imagine the banking system in Ghana without the currency. And remember, that's what we do. We promote the steady and build professionals, competent people for the banking industry. And that's why it's crucially important that as an institute, we participate in this, support the central bank. And by the way, if you think about the banking system in Ghana, my point of view is that it rests on 3 legs: the regulator, the operator, which is the banks, and then of course the educator. And that's where Chartered Institute of Bankers come in support of the celebration beyond participation today. We're also organizing the National Banking and Ethics Conference, and we'll dedicate a panel discussion on the currency, the stability of the currency in the era where there's all kind of digital assets, disruptions, cryptocurrencies, and things like that. So we are not just educating, we're also providing thought leadership and providing a platform that will shape policy conversation and ultimately make sure that the banking system is strengthened. And if the banking system is strengthened, then of course our country, the economy as a whole, will be strengthened. And that's why celebrating the Cedi at 60 is crucially important. I think which means that the Cedi is our blood. Right. You know, some people, our forefathers, fought to obtain some political sovereignty for us, and then of course the economic sovereignty represented by our identity, which is the Cedi. And for us, the educational part is important in terms of what we do with the currency physically. When we go to church, how we handle it. When we go to the market, how we protect it. That will be crucially important. And that's why at Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, beyond this program, we are taking financial literacy, digital literacy, ethical literacy to secondary schools across a number of schools in Ghana so that we can continue to, if you like, propagate the knowledge, because Cedi at 60 is not an event. It should be a lifestyle. It should be a continuous education and engagement of the general public. And that's why we are here.
Now, Tom, let me ask you this. Now, one of the things that here in Ghana we're grappling with is about the stability of a currency. For some reason, some Ghanaians prefer to store value in the dollar and not the cedi. You have worked in the digital payment ecosystem for a very long time. In fact, I'm sure that the upcoming stakeholder, wasn't it the thought leadership program that you intend to which you are organizing, is going to be looking at cash payment systems, etc. We have over the years been working towards a cash-light society, and we're told one of the objectives is to make sure that there's less cash in the system, there's more electronic payments, and somehow it will help to sort of protect to strengthen the city. Help us appreciate what the nexus, electronic payment systems, and how that impacts on the city or the currency of any country positively.
So broadly, it's a really good question. And looking broadly, there are a lot of countries in the world that are looking at really how much cash do they need. And most likely, going forwards, a country will never be cashless, but it may be less cash. And that's a factor of a number of different, that's a result of a number of different factors. But for us, from currency researchers' point of view, ultimately this comes down to choice. The choice should be at the consumer level: do they want to pay in cash or do they want to pay via an alternative payment system? The slight problem you have when you have a very rapidly changing proportion of any payment is that the payment that's declining becomes relatively more expensive, either by per unit processing distribution in case of cash, or by processing in terms of electronic payments. But what we really must remember is that at this point in time, cash is the only inclusionary method of payment we have. A panel I was just on previously, the CEO of GIPS mentioned that everyone is now using digital money. That's actually not the case. There are some very valid reasons why in countries all over the world it is important to have a necessary baseline of cash usage for those that either need or want to use cash rather than a digital payment system. It would be silly to say that there is no place for digital payments going forwards, but really what every country must do is understand, given its own context, economy, population, and goals, where does that balance sit of how many cash payments versus how many digital payments. But no matter what the payment system, it must be inclusive, it must be safe, it must be easy to use.
Okay. Unfortunately, we will have to end this conversation because we have to go to the main auditorium of the Accra International Conference Center. The event has just started, and our viewers can't wait to watch it. And so I want to unfortunately. It's so sad. I was just enjoying the conversation when I was just hinted that we have to go and take a live feed of what's happening there. So I want to thank you, Mr. Tom Michel. Thank you very much. You are the Vice President of Currency Research. Is it based in the United States, UK?
I personally am based in Scotland. We have offices in the US and Malta. But as I said, we're coming back here 17th to 20th of November in conjunction with Bank of Ghana. So it is an open event for all Ghanaian institutions involved in cash and payments to attend. So we will look forward to welcoming as many as possible.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And also...
thank you very much for the opportunity. I said beyond this conference today, we also have the National Banking and Ethics Conference on the 11th of November. And so we extend the invitation to the general public. I look forward to seeing all of you as well.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Robert Jatto, thank you for your time. And it's been really wonderful having you join us on our makeshift studio here on the Metro TV's Good Morning Ghana. My name is Aldo Moro. Now, this is where we bring to an end the Good Morning Ghana segment of our morning programs, and we're going to take you live to the auditorium. My very good friend Kwesi Friye at some point would be interacting with you depending on how the event goes. And so thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Today, Tuesday edition, 28th of October 2025. My name once again is Aldo Moro. I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good day, and please keep watching Metro TV.
Confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man swing, Nesansu Mama Hotel so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel. Happy Smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Oh, Jose, and I made the SMS. Can any pan, Nasana, Michiana, what me? A drain I didn't quano. Kingdom Garlic Bitters. No, more benefit. Me benefit wine. Also, got told dear.
Abrewa, the smile, Abrente. Mishuve, one antique crana wabre. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and any capsules, Nanya, what ya brebia.
Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and the capsules.
Assembia,
a devil when Amawani, I say.
Send your name, wife, company one personal. Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules, and tea. Say, see, and pass why.
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules, and many genius from Debefi, Abrebia. Or Babia or de Puahauno. Edro Bakupa, we hear tremendous capsules. Tremendous capsules, yes, you ma we obesima. Edno you when you be a ton rubia. Kingdom Herbal, no challenger.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
This Wabedum Tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya Mabesisia. Ziggy. I can say no, you're conati, and the more drink woman. Hey! But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eddie! Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Ah, Eddie! I'll cause some discomfort. Ah! Sorry, what uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share, Nanda Daya was a mosquito call as you do woman. Na say, spray with them, sir. Try sima a dronum and sana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're lucky. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the son of man be?
Hey!
Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
West Africa's soil yields global treasures. Cocoa, cashew, shea, and cotton. They power industries across the world. Yet for our region, the greatest value still slips away, exported raw, taking with it jobs, industries, and the promise of shared prosperity. The real question is no longer what we produce, but who captures the final reward. True prosperity lies in the value we add right here at home. That's why the 4th edition of the EBIT President's Roundtable will gather the architects of Africa's prosperity and Africa's transformation to answer one defining question. How do we finance the journey from the farm to the port? Join Dr. George Ejikum Donko and some leading experts as EBIT leads a high-level dialogue to unlock financing, empower local industries, and turn West Africa's raw potential into industrial power. Be part of the conversation redefining our economic future, live on Metro TV, DSTV Channel 277, and EBIT platforms on November 24, 2025 at 11 a.m. EBIT President's Roundtable 2025. From the farm to the court, financing the value chains of West Africa's cash crops. My name is Anita Erskine, and it will be an honor to host you.
Abukari